Welcome back to We Got Goosebumps, a podcast dedicated to the landmark horror series for children, written by R.L. Stine back in the 90s. I'm your maniacal neighbor who wishes bees on you, Dylan.
Oh, and I'm your smooth-as-hell body double who can skateboard in a way all the chicks dig. I'm Travis. What's up?
Well, Travis, today we have number 17 in the series, Why I'm Afraid of Bees, which was released in March of 1994, and highlights why there's so many bodies and government institutions that are in place to regulate businesses that just kind of sprout up on Roach Street and do...
Oh, yeah.
The most horrifying thing in this book to me was the body switching company and its just utter lack of oversight. Like, just... Oh my god.
They don't even accept payment. This is free service to children.
Okay, so that was the part that I stumbled the most. Like, fine, it's an unethical company. It's 1994. Sure, they'll let 12-year-olds change bodies without parental permission forms or whatever. It was a different time back then. I don't remember what it was like 30 years ago. But the fact that it was free, apparently,
wasn't even a scheme.
So I have a theory. But it's a rough theory. It's gonna be like this plot hole.
I need you to fill this plot hole.
This plot hole is too big. We have to start this off. I'm gonna say
this place had a nice office and with microphones in its own bathroom. This is not like the back of a van establishment.
I feel like Miss Carmen is the nice version of Mr. Toggle, for example, from Piano Lessons Can Be Murder. Or,
look at you!
So Miss Carmen has this genius idea, but she's not ethical or good at what she does. Like, she's probably this old an inventor. She's the only one there. She answers the phones. She calls clients. Yeah. She's the receptionist. She works the machines, and it looks like it's just all the equipment is in the front office. Like, she has that big old glass screen to protect her in.
Right?
Why would she? It's just a one-room organization. And there's other employees? I don't think so. Miss Carmen has
she's got to come to your house to do it.
Yeah, and her album that she's put together is just a Polaroid camera. It's not like she has to put... She's like, I take pictures of all the children who walk through. She's a monster of a different stripe. And we've barely even scratched the surface of Miss Carmen. And think of the advertising. It wasn't in a phone book or anything. It was on the computer.
On the internet.
It was probably free because it was just a posting on a Usenet. I love that whole chapter, by the way. The whole chapter.
That is fun. That's wild.
This is kind of what the internet was like, sort of. Like R.L. Stine has a kind of grasp of it.
Yeah, it was so easy to abduct a kid on the internet back then. No effort. You just had to say, hey, we could change your body around.
Yeah.
And kids will just show
up. Here's
our
address. He didn't even call first. He just went. That's the craziest thing.
Just showed up.
Oh, God.
And they were like, oh, no, we don't need your parents. They won't even know. Yeah. It's so creepy. Anyway.
Except it's
we're
not
getting
we.
So far ahead of ourselves.
It's just Miss Carmen. Well, we have to pave over this particularly large plot hole. Like, if we ever interview R.L. Stine, we're going to be like, you need to fucking tell us how a business operates under this method of not getting paid and just body switching children. And the fact, oh my God, I'm going to have to suppress all of this because I have so many problems with Miss Carmen and the way that she runs this business. Like, when she's just like, Dirk doesn't want to leave, sorry. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, nothing I can do about it. Like, wait, what? Somebody signed a form. This is legally binding.
Oh, no, it's not. I just wrote that in crayon. Didn't you notice? Like, oh, shit. Gary! You're 12. You shouldn't know about contract law, but still, like crayon contracts. Bad sign.
Oh, buddy. Man. I will say, by March of 1994, I was riddled with bee stings. I don't know about you.
Why did you put lickety slit in the script?
Wait, what?
You just wrote lickety slit.
I didn't write anything. You wrote that.
I wrote lickety slit under the cover. I don't feel like I wrote that.
I think that's a holdover from a previous episode. I imagine one of us was trying to type this to the other. We had this window open, and we typed it. We're like, where did that go? And then we clicked on the right window and typed it. Is that what happened?
I was trying to type it to you, but...
You were so fucking high, you typed it into the chapter 3 of our script.
Just seeing Lickity's.
Then you got mad at me. I was just sitting here trying to talk about bees. Like a fucking Christian boy. God damn. Like I got T-boned.
T-boned in the lickety split. Oh my god.
God damn.
Oh god. Okay, let's back that up. You ever get stung?
Oh yeah. By the mid '90s, I was riddled with bee stings. I was always afraid of bees, but a healthy fear, not like my snake fear. Like I don't freak out when I see a bee. But I was a target.
I've never actually. I did go through a brief period where I was scared of bees. I will admit that, but that was instigate by instant. When I was a kid, I actually used to play a fun game where I'd take a pasta sauce jar, an empty and cleaned out pasta sauce jar, and see how many bees I could catch in one jar before I was at risk for being stung. Because we used to have mint plants in our backyard, and like the hornets and bees, anything that wanted flowers was all over the mint plants. And so I think I got up to 18. Like that's
pretty good.
Yeah. And then what I would do, because like now I've got a jar full of bees. What do? You unscrew the cap and roll it across the ground like it's a grenade and get the fuck out of there. That's what you do. And that's how an 8-year-old in the South would entertain themselves.
So maybe you go stick it in Mr. Swanson's mailbox, pay him back for all that bullshit he put you through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mr.
I don't know what he did. You tell me. I don't know.
I don't really actually have a problem with Mr. Swanson. He's pretty nice.
Is he okay?
Yeah, no, he's all right. He's good.
Okay.
Sure. The incident that made me a little more perturbed about bees was when I parked a lawnmower over a yellow jacket nest in the ground. I only got stung twice. But having to stand like a statue while my dad swatted hornets off of me for 10 minutes, probably wasn't even 10 minutes. I was going to say 10 hours. That's how long it felt. But because I booked it into the house thinking I'd escape the yellow jackets. And then like, I'm telling my parents, I I got stung 1,000 times by yellow jackets because and then the yellow jacket flies by me. Another yellow jacket flies by. And then we all look down at my pants. I don't want to say covered, because I know exactly. There were 17 yellow jackets, and I know that's because that's how many were dead on the floor after all was said and done. But I had to stand there like a statue the entire time while my dad was just like swatting at them with a rolled up magazine. So that made me a little disconcerted with the yellow jackets for a while.
I bet, yeah. I had I won't say a similar encounter, because I think yours takes the cake there, but I did as an adult man. I was mowing, and I got to a point. I started seeing a lot of bees, and I stopped and I was looking around. I was like, "Where are these bees coming from?" And I just kind of froze with my push mower. I was like, "Where are these? What's up with all these bees? Maybe if I sit here for a minute, they'll disperse." Okay, I don't see any more bees, and then I moved forward a little bit, and I had parked it right over top of the nest. And I just unleashed just a fizzy champagne bottle of bees that jumped out, and then seeing what happened, I let go of the mower and I sprint through my yard, and they chased me. A few of them got me on the back of my legs. I like tuck and roll, and from a distance, people are like, "Okay, this guy's insane." He just quit mowing, sprinted like he's in the NFL, and tried to do a dive across his driveway like he scored a touchdown. They didn't make eye contact with me for a while after that, and every time they would see me, I would say, "It was the bees!" No respect here in the hood.
The last time I was down south, I was walking down a dirt road, and this, I don't know, to this day, Travis, this last year I'm talking about like this, to this day, Travis, I don't know what it was, but it was easily like maybe that big. That's the realistic size, about the size of a quarter.
Okay.
In diameter, to about the size of a dinner plate. Or a howitzer shell, but something was coming for me. Like, it was a big and just like, and just, the people down this backcountry road watched a 6'4" tall, full-grown man sprinting down this road. Occasionally, I'd be like, not juking, but just my feet would skitter out from underneath me because I was trying to run on gravel, and so like I'd go down on my back. And then I'd like get booking because it followed me for like half a mile. I'm not exaggerating.
That's insane.
I was sprinting down this road. I'd stop and I'd be like, "Oh, thank God!" And then I would just start running again, but I would be going so, like, my feet would be doing the Looney Tunes, like, you could see the dust cloud under my feet, and then I would just, just fell on my face because, like, I was getting no traction, and I just went down. It was a humiliating time. And
I think it was a military drone.
I'm concerned that if I ever am in danger, that is exactly how I'm going to respond, because this really was only probably one of those Japanese death hornets that made its way across from the Pacific Northwest where they started and then came across the country to where I was, and this lone one had developed a hatred for me. That's the only thing that I can think. But you know what? Let's talk covers.
Yeah, dude. Let's talk covers, because there's not many. This book wasn't... It didn't have a lot of international releases. We only get mainly Europe. There's no Indonesia, no Dutch cover. That's not not European.
That's pretty European, actually. Yeah.
You know, no Korea, no Indonesia, none of that. So we'll start with Tim Jacobus. He does the best work. He'll make us feel pretty good about it. Now, one interesting note about this, and Tim Jacobus does a pretty good job of nailing the accuracy of the story, but not here, dude. Not here. There's no head. There's no human head on the bee in the book. He is a full ass bee from. I was trying to name parts of a bee from thorax to mantle. I don't know, from face to stinger. He's bee. But on the cover, he's got a face.
I'm going to do a quick Google search here.
Are you going to be the guy all book to tell us all the inaccuracies with bees?
I was seeing when Animorphs came out, because this feels like a kind of anamorphish, like almost like a. Did you ever read that series as a child?
I was familiar with the series. The covers are terrible looking as well.
They're not
typically
terrible looking. Okay, you and me are gonna.
We'll fight about that on We Got Animorphs.
We're gonna have fight. Yeah, fight words with fighting. But like that came out in 1996, so 2 years after this. So they stole off Tim Jacobus. It's funny because there is an example in the international cover where they do just have a bee with no human head, and to be honest, less effective of a cover in that particular case. Yeah. So I'm going to say I'm glad that Tim Jacobus did in fact decide to depart from the story a little bit and actually put a human head on this bee.
That's right, because otherwise it's just boring. It's just yeah. Otherwise it's just a bee, you know, and that's what is that, you know? This actually gives you that unsettling flavor Goosebumps goes for. So I see your point. I also saw in the trivia that according to It Came From Ohio, the idea for the story was inspired by the Robert Sheckley novel Mind Swap. So there you go. There's your inspiration piece.
I've never read that. Now I'm strangely very curious, even though I feel like that's a little, I'm not going to say horse shit, but I'm going to say like, did you really need an inspiration for this?
You didn't need an inspiration. This is like 13 going on 30 or Parent Trap. It's the same shit. Yeah. Who gives a shit? But anyway, it's just a bee. It's a good looking bee. It's face on a bee. It's not that remarkable. It's a cool picture. It's not my favorite, but it gets the job done.
It does actually capture the kind of this is one of the more lighthearted Goosebumps books. I feel like those crop up more and more as we go, where they're a little goofier. Like One Day at Horrorland. Actually, One Day at Horrorland is really fucked up.
Kind of fucked up.
It ends on a goofy
exploding in chapter 2.
It ends on a goofy-ish note, sort of. I mean, they're still going to kill them. That's the thing. The more I think about One Day at Horrorland is like a secret favorite of mine. Not a secret favorite, but it's like it's building.
Did it stick with you a little bit?
Yeah. Like thinking about it now, just like I wasn't about to slam it, but I was just like, this is definitely a little bit sillier. You know what? Piano Lessons Can Be Murder is like that, where like the kid is pretty like chill throughout the whole thing, and it's just like, man, piano lessons, right? They can be murder. Well, mine really were. Like you can totally see like the kind of like a more Ferris Bueller kind of attitude for that character, and it kind of made that story less scary. This is definitely less of a spooky story throughout. Like Gary Lutz, the Klutz, is a lot like Amanda Bird. Is it Amanda Bird? Her last name is Bird, I think.
Suddenly you're just a savant for all the entire series.
I know. It's crazy. Right?
Typically you can't remember the name of our own show, but today you're dropping names from 10 books ago. But yeah, Amanda Bird sounds familiar. What story
That's
is that?
the Be Careful What You Wish For.
Oh, okay. Now we just edited that one, so that makes sense.
No, I know. Well, yeah, technically, I did do a very special. Be careful what your piano lessons are.
yes.
That's a great episode.
Oops. The old oops, I put the wrong audio in the wrong episode. We've all done it. But yeah, so moving on from Tim Jacobus, you know what? I'm going to save the UK for last because I feel like the French covers are they're not going to be as exciting. We're going to have a big build up and then we're going to get to the French covers. Let's end on the UK, you know?
I will say the first French cover is pretty memorable in its its own special
yeah.
Hey.
There's an Asian boy trapped in a honeycomb? I don't understand.
And is being menaced by a giant bee. Although the kids on the European covers, their facial expressions never seem to be enough. They always seem like, oh no, Klaus, yes. The bee is coming. No! Like, that's more what's happening, rather than like, I'm not getting goosebumps from that expression. That's more like, a giant bee. Like, if I saw a bee that big coming out of my face after I popped out of my honeycomb hideout, I would be shitting myself. This kid looks like, oh no, the kickball's coming my way. No.
Yeah, he just looks a little annoyed that the bee is there. That's
and
it.
He's the one in the honeycomb.
Why is he in there? He's in their home.
Like, so clearly the kid is in the wrong here.
That's true. I will say, folks at home, if you're like, I wish people wouldn't describe things I can't see. Well, we got the link to these in the show notes. You can click and you can follow along and admire these in this section because it's worth it. It's most of my enjoyment comes from the cover. After that, it's all weird. Then we got the second French cover, which I think's kind of fitting. I kind of like this take on things. You got a bee on the kid's face. Nothing's scarier than having a bee on your face.
That is true. That is, and the title of the book is, Why I'm Scared of Bees. Although there's no question mark at the end of that, so I don't actually speak that much French. So I can't help you there. I'm assuming des abeilles is bees, the bees.
The bees.
You is vous. So there we go. You the bees, and maybe a gesture.
We'll get it.
Yeah, we're there.
If anybody speaks French, please email us in French. That way we can't read it. So
we actually do have a couple of French speakers in our own Discord. You psycho.
Well, we do. We could outsource the translation.
I don't think they listen to this podcast though.
No, I don't think they like us
personally. Yeah.
Otherwise, we got a little sweat beating down the forehead, a backwards cap, very 90s. Bee on the face, on the nose. Would you say it's a little too on the nose? Would you say that this covers a little too on the nose?
There's enough puns in this book without you adding to the problem. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I tried to get mine in, but that's fine. Jovial Bob Stein wins again. I can't compete. Well, let's take it over to the UK. And, God damn, Dylan, when I saw this today, I could hear your voice in the back of my head just screaming things. What were those things?
I can't.
What?
It is in a different style now. Like, it looks different. Like, it looks... Instead of having
nothing's sinking into the goo. Everything is above
Everything's
the goo.
above the goo. The goo is now part of the background. I really don't think this cover artist knew what Goosebumps were. Put the goo in the background, and then everyone who approved it was just like, I don't know what's up with the goo, but I kind of like it. It reminds me of British puddings! And then just decided that was acceptable for the cover of Goosebumps. I'm so sorry for that terrible accent. But I'm so angry. I'm staring into his eyes and wondering why he has a fruit by the foot coming out of his mouth. And I know it's a bee tongue. But why?
But with that expression and the tongue, why the tongue? The tongue isn't, it comes up, but why put it on the cover? It's not part of the scariness.
And it looks like it was added later because it's literally just sticking out of his mouth like a party favor kind of thing. Like the
Honestly, yeah. I think it was added later. And the kid, it looks like a redheaded version of Jason Bateman.
Yeah. After the initial shock that I always get after UK covers, I feel empty and hollow this time. Like, I don't know. It's just, I think I've reached the point.
There is an initial shock, though, every time. Right? There's never been a time that I've looked at one of these.
I'm somehow surprised. For the viewers at home, they didn't do too much differently from what Tim Jacobus did. It is a bee with a human head on it. And then there's a couple more bees in the background to, I guess, one-up it, and the usual purple marmalade nightmare in the background. But for some reason, the boy has, like, he looks, I guess maybe he's supposed to be like Gary at the end of the book, where he's drunk the honey, and he's basically like part bee, and he's just like, I love this life now.
Yeah, he looks happy to be a bee, which goes against the entire, the other 25 chapters of the book, where he's not so much into bees. Well, that's it for cover talk. What do you say we open it?
Is it really? This is what we're ending this on? This is the cover? I'm going to go back to the French one with the honeycomb hideout thing, because like that's...
There's only 4 versions. It gets the, after you look at the other ones, that one does get more interesting.
It really does. I want to read... Back in ye olden days at DC Comics, what they would do sometimes is they would give a cover to a writer and be like, I need you to write a story that goes with this cover. And they'd have to write a whole story based off of that cover.
I like that.
I would love...
Why don't you do that for this?
I would love to it would be hard for us to take part because we actually know what the story is. But taking the European covers, not the British ones because that's cruel, the European covers... and giving them to writers and saying, I want you to write a story based on this in the style of Goosebumps. And being like, can you even figure out what this... They're probably going to come back with, some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids nightmare kind of scenario for that one.
Right.
Because that's why I'm getting off that cover.
Which this has a little bit of. It's got a bit of a flavor to that, too. All right. Well, let's crack open these covers and fucking get in there, dude.
In the covers?
Let's see what all the buzz is about.
Oh, Jesus. Man, come on.
Come on, I gotta get a couple in. Jesus, dude.
Oh, that's what she's... Chapter 1. Gary Lutz. Is every single sentence in this script going to have a bee pun in it that I'm going to have to be mad about?
No, just the first one. Just the first one. I took out 3. I knew you'd be mad. I typed out and I was like, nah, I can already hear him bitching and I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm going to take it out. But I left the first one in because I wanted to assert my dominance as pun lord.
I'm just going to read it out because I want people to know what I'm dealing with here. Gary Lutz telling us the story of how this came to be.
B's got 2 E's. Tell him, Dylan, how many E's it has.
Because you're referring to the insect.
Bees. Yeah.
So we got another story where they're telling us this tale of woe from that happened in the past, much like a werewolf of Fever Swamp or You Can't Scare Me. Look at this shit. What happened? I know titles of books.
I can't believe... I don't know if you took a pill. I don't know what's going on with you right now. It's like you want to be here all of a sudden.
Shut the front door. So Gary Lutz, that's important because R.L. Stine came up with a cute name for him to mock him throughout the entire book. But he's just chilling out back, reading comics under the maple tree as you do when you're a young sprat. He's kind of friendless. He's kind of a schmuck. Let's just put that out here. He's
pretty pathetic.
At the end of the book, we found out he learns a pretty harsh reality, which is that he's the problem. But he takes it in stride throughout this book. To be fair,
yeah.
But so he has no friends. He has a 9-year-old sister that doesn't like him. But to be fair, he doesn't really like her either because Chrissy's. To be honest, Chrissy's not even not that bad. But all the other kids call him Lutz the Klutz. And he's just like, why does everyone make fun of me? But then he hears bees buzzing nearby, which is actually not that strange because they're his neighbor, Mr. Andretti.
Yeah. What is he, a race car driver? I could not get that out of my head the entire time.
I don't follow racing, but I know who Mario Andretti is. It's just...
Right.
What are you doing, R.L.? You pick some third stringer. You don't pick, the only person everybody knows.
I know. We're going to have a book where there's an Earnhardt, and it's going to be another one of those.
And then, later editions change to Junior. So it's not as sad.
Probably.
That's the change it makes. Then that's the third later. Is there Dale Earnhardt the third? There's got to be, right?
I think you're confusing the Earnhardt family with the country music. What is it? Hank Williams Jr. and then Hank 3, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I don't think anyone likes Hank 3 though, except for Hank. So I shouldn't say that. I've made so many people angry so often.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Wait a minute, I like Dale and Hank 3."
I didn't say anything bad about Dale, except
they both got the same number.
He was a pretty shitty driver.
Oh, that actually probably got us banned in the South.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You just live there, though, so that's not so bad. Anyway, let's get out of Chapter 1. So, here's a bee buzzing nearby, which is it's a cause for some concern, because Gary's scared of bees, he's in his own personal hell then, because his neighbor, Mr. Andretti, keeps bees, and he's kind of an asshole about it. The whole time, every description we give Andretti sounds like the worst possible neighbor, even if he didn't keep bees. I think it'd be kind of cool if your neighbor kept bees, but I could see how that might be a point of concern. Mr. Andretti is not exactly reassuring about it. Like, there's this whole scene where he's talking to Gary's dad, and he's just like, "You know, you're a shitty beekeeper. He wears like 6 pairs of gloves on each hand. You're not so shitty beekeeper, like fucking licks the bees. I put bees in my pants. That's how good of a beekeeper he just has this whole big, like, I'm the best beekeeper that ever was." And he's just kind of a dick about it.
Big dick, yeah.
But Gary's also kind of like, at the same time, fascinated by these bees. So he peeks over the fence, checks out these bee situation occasionally, and he sees Mr. A. I'm going to actually have to use your naming convention, because if I have to say Andretti for this entire podcast, I might lose my mind. He sees Mr. A is getting ready to go into his bee enclosure, which is basically his garage has been converted into hives. It sounds like, with a screen door kind of thing, so you can get in and out.
Yeah, very haphazard, it seems.
He describes Mr. A's outfit, no gloves, because a real beekeeper doesn't wear gloves. Ever.
Yeah, he's got the bees trusting him.
Nothing. Never, ever. His hands are bare, baby soft. Like, a bee could, like, burrow. They're like milk. They're like pudding. Just
got milk hands.
Just
got pudding
real
hands.
Soft, puddingy hands that he just sticks into his beehives. I'm losing my mind already. Again.
I was going to say I love it, but I'm a little irritated. No, I love it. It's fine. Soft hands for stroking the bees.
Chapter 1 still, by the way. And Gary's like, he's giving us this whole thing where he's like, I'm terrified of everything. I'm scared of cats, or specifically Klaus, because we have another shithead cat in this book. I get the feeling R.L. Stine does not like cats, because most of the time that cats pop up, it's just like, man, maybe cats should be just burned with witches. But he hears like the sound of the bees getting louder, and he pops his head over the fence, and there's Mr. A coming out there, and his suit used to be an all-white suit. Everyone's seen beekeeper suit or the beekeeper TikTok kind of situations or whatever. And instead of being white, he is black. And not only black, it's moving. Like, the suit itself seems to be moving because it is nothing but bees. Mr. A is wearing bees, which is weird, because Mr. A shouldn't be wearing bees, if you see what I mean. Alphabet joke.
It's an alphabet joke.
Mr. A's like, Gary, get the fuck out of here. The bees is loose. Bum, bum, bum.
The bees is loose. And Gary's like, well, fuck, I don't like that. So Gary sprints inside his house where the bees ain't. And he hears from behind him Mr. Andretti back there, Mr. A, laughing. and kind of a got his ass cadence, because it was just a joke. Mr. Andretti, complete control over those bees. It was never a situation to be fearful of. Poor dumb fucking Gary. Anyway, my favorite part of this, because apparently Mr. Andretti doesn't like the fact that Gary, who's afraid of bees but fascinated by them, watches Mr. Andretti with the bees a lot. Mr. Andretti does not like this, and as he's teased Gary and scared Gary, he's like, guess that'll teach you to get a life and stop staring at me all day, which I think's hilarious. I thought that was the best thing that an older man could yell at a boy.
Is that the best thing or the most horrifying thing that he could have yelled?
It's like he's accusing the boy of being a pervert, which I think is kind of, guess that'll teach you to get a life. Stop staring at me all day.
He says a couple other things too. Where he's just like, did they set up a neighborhood watch while I wasn't paying attention? And like, did the FBI recruiting 10-year-olds as spies? And was it not Rosenberg? It's the wrong. I mentioned a spy, the Rosenbergs. We stole Rush.
Oh,
I meant McCarthy, though I was going to make a McCarthyism reference.
Sure you did.
I'm sorry.
Swing and a miss. We're still in chapter 2. But, then Mom walks in, and she's like, oh, hey, Gare Bear, you want a sandwich? You want a little PB&J?
I'm going to murder you if you do that. If you do Gare Bear, this entire podcast, the number of times I had to listen to Jer Bear in not piano lessons.
Yeah, that would have been.
Jer Bear. Yeah, piano lessons can be murder. You're just like Jer Bear. It's like, don't you do Gare Bear. Don't you do it.
It might be Gare Bear. Come on.
I'll allow it.
All right.
I'll just edit it.
Fine. Out. Well, only when the mom speaks. Only when the mom speaks. The mom says, hey, Gare Bear, you want a sandwich? You want a PB&J? And he's like, yeah, I dig it. And she goes to make it, but out of jelly. Nah, it sucks. She's like, well, do you want a honey instead? And he's like, ooh, no, gross, because he doesn't like honey, apparently. So he hates bees and their sweet
vomit.
Nectar juice.
Yeah.
Vomit.
I plan to correct some facts throughout the book, including on how bees actually die, because that scene could have been a lot more horrifying if
Oh, good. Horrified
also,
this book.
As a child, I also did not like honey, and to be honest, I'm not really going for the honey now as an adult, to be fair.
Oh, I slap it on everything, dude. Cover me in honey and spank me a ton. I'm into it so much. I love it. I literally eat it on anything that makes sense to eat it on. Which is not to say like everything, like I have limits. But later, Gary goes to the playground. He's like, all right, I'm going to get out of this house. I'm going to go see if I can have some fun with my life because I'm a miserable little shit. And he's like, oh, look, some kids are playing softball. Now, if I'm Gary and I've lived a life of being ostracized and made fun of and teased, I already know not to go near a fucking softball game. And sure enough, he goes up there. They're picking teams. No one wants him on their team. And they're very loud about that. When he finally does get picked, because they do make sure every kid gets on a team, comes to find out, Gary, this is not his first rodeo. They got a special rule in place for Gary.
That's pretty fucking hurtful, to be honest with you. When they're just like, fine, but remember, we get the special rule. That stung a little bit.
Yeah.
Even through the years, just like, oh.
Good pun. Yeah. Yeah, Gary's stung by that one. And he has apparently there's a 4 strikes rule for Gary. He gets an extra strike. So he gets up there to bat. He knows he's got 4 strikes to burn, but God, he's praying to the heavens. Just walk me. Just walk me. Please, God. Don't make me embarrass myself. But he still strikes out, which I think is also hilarious. And then
he leaves. He just leaves the game. This is his first at bat, and he leaves. And is like, maybe that's why you're not good at baseball and you get picked last, because you fucking left after 2 innings? Like,
yeah, pathetic Gary. He doesn't help himself out a lot, which we come to learn. And on his way home, this is where it gets kind of messed up. On his way home, he runs into some bullies. Okay, and these bullies have the most 1960s Archie comic ass names: Barry, Marv, and Carl. Okay, Barry, Marv, and Carl are there. They're waiting on Gary as he walks down the street. They tease him a little bit. Like, hey, Gary, what you gonna do, bud? What, you suck at softball still? Yeah, probably. Yeah, would you strike out again on 4 strikes? Ha. And then, out of nowhere, one of them just fucking throws a punch at his nose. Dum, dum, dum.
Luckily, Gary manages to... No, his nose gets creamed. Like, that's not a cliffhanger that ends well. That he gets the shit beat out of him, it sounds like. They tear his clothes. Like, he's bruised. Yeah. He's all kinds of fucked up. Like, this isn't a happy story, you guys. It's only going to get worse from here. But he goes home. He's just like, sucks. Covered in blood and scratches and torn shirts and stuff. And so immediately, because he doesn't want his mom to find out that he got the shit kicked out of him, because then his mom will call their mom. And then their mom will be like, hey, stop beating up that Gary kid, creeps. And then the kids are going to be like, now we have to go fucking kill him. because he's a snitch, and snitches get stitches. And so then Gary knows, like, he can't let this escalate, so he's got to stop it before it gets started. So he covers up his wounds, gets some makeup, wears dark I'm not going to go in this direction. Not going to go in that direction. Throws the shirt behind the bed, like, hides all that nonsense. So then he goes downstairs. His mom's just like, hey, me and Chrissy are making peanut butter cookies. You wanna help? And he's just like, no, not right now, but I hope you lick the bowl later. It's like, Gary, this is why people don't like you. Like, this is like this kind of shit where you're just like, no, I'll do the fun thing later. And then his mom's just like, hey, at the very least, can you go get the peanut butter for me? Because, like, the peanut butter cookie is the key ingredient. So he's like, yeah, no problem. Goes to get the jar of peanut butter, tries to open it, can't do it, just bangs it, and he's trying to crack it open. Then Chrissy's just like, get the fuck out the way. Takes it from him. Does a 2-finger twist on the jar, and just pops her right open.
Barely trying.
And his family's not too supportive of him in this instance, though. To be fair, like, Chrissy kind of delivered the joke pretty well. Like, she did not like the full mockery was just like the 2 fingers. Like, that's just brilliant timing on her part. But so he's a little upset. So he decides to book it out of there because his sister and his mom are too mean to him. You can tell I have, like, no sympathy. The moment he's just like, I'm scared of the cats in the deep ocean and I'm just terrible at everything. Like, Gary.
Step up, Gary.
So he decides to leave the house, and this is where we're picking up here. The two of them were laughing together. I don't think they even heard me. Totally miserable, I stepped out the front door and slammed it hard behind me. I decided to ride my bike around the block a few times. When I went around to the side of the house and got it out of the garage, I started to cheer up a little bit. My bike is really awesome. It's a new blue 21 speed, and it's real sleek and cool. My dad gave it to me for my 12th birthday. I jumped up on my bike and headed down the driveway. As I turned onto the street, I saw some girls walking down the sidewalk. Out of the corner of my eye, I recognized them. Wow, I thought. It's Judy Donner and Caitlin Davis. Both Judy and Caitlin go to my school. They're really pretty and very popular. To be honest, I've had a major crush on Judy since the 4th grade. And once, at the 5th grade picnic, she actually smiled at me. At least, I think it was at me. So then, I saw those girls walking down the street. I decided it was a good time to try to be really cool. I flipped my baseball cap around so the brim was at the back of my head. Then I folded my arms across my chest and started pedaling no-handed. As I passed them, I glanced over my shoulder and flashed my most glamorous smile at Judy and Caitlin. Before my beautiful smile faded, I felt a tug at my sneaker. I realized instantly that my shoelace was caught in the chain. Horrible grinding sound filled the air. The bike jerked and lurched from side to side, and I lost control. Gary! I heard Judy shriek. Gary, look out for that car! Bum, bum, bum!
Oh, God. Gary's gonna get hit by a car. And he would deserve it.
Yeah, and this is a case where, like, this is Gary's fault, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Showboating out there. Showboating. Had no business showboating. But no, he doesn't succumb to the car. He actually just smacks face first into a lamppost and then lands face first in the mud. Like an asshole. He looks dumb. And the girls laugh a lot. As I would. And did, reading the book. And then they just keep walking. They're like, Gary, you piece of shit. And they keep walking. And Gary's just in the mud. And he's like, I hate myself. I hate everything that's led up to this. I have many regrets in life. This sucks. I would rather be a tree. Because no one laughs at a tree. And I thought about that for a minute. And I was like, you're right. I don't know if a time where I've been like, that tree is fucking it's so funny. I've never once thought a tree was a good time. Yeah. Sometimes I see a tree with delight, and I'm like, oh, look at that tree. That's a nice tree. Never laughed at one.
I've gotten mad at trees.
So Gary's got a point. Sure. Yeah. They get in the way, but they're never funny. So once again, he gets home. He's
sorry. You're just so fucking serious about it.
They're not funny. And then he goes home, and once again he's got to hide all of his scrapes and cuts because he doesn't want his mom to ask questions. He don't want anybody to talk to him, so he's covered in mud and piss and blood, and he just wanders up his steps. And he decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change clothes. I'm going to play on the computer. You know, I'm one of those guys that's just destined to be behind a computer a lot. Low risk of hitting a lamppost in front of cute girls. I'll just play Planet Monstro. That's a new hot computer game. And I've been playing a level. I've been trying to kill this dragon. Got to figure out how to kill this dragon. You know what? I'm going to go check online to see how to kill that dragon, because I've been trying to kill the dragon in Planet Monstro. I'm going to check this online bulletin board. This little place, it's called Computer Note. And people leave notes and stuff and ask questions. This is neat. And a little bulletin board. I'm going to look for hints.
Sorry.
And he gets on there. He's looking for hints. He's got his dial-up internet. It's 1994. It took him like a half hour. Once it loads, he at his little bulletin board, he gets a couple answers for his problem, but he notices a message, or like it's an ad. R.L. Stine calls it a message. This is an ad that says, "Take a vacation from yourself. Change places with someone for a week." And Gary's like, "Say what? Bum, bum, bum."
So then he presses the enter button so he could read what was next. Now, that's the biggest problem I have in this whole book. Like, what is he using exactly? We're like, hitting the enter key on a 1994 website would automatically progress to the next message in the thread, or on the, this to me is the biggest. So anyway, it's a vacation from yourself. It's kind of like, really what he should have said as his inspiration was Total Recall, because literally that's what this place sounds like.
Yes.
But it says, take a vacation from yourself, change places with someone for a week, person-to-person vacations on Roach Street, Suite 2B, or call 1-800-555-SWAP. That's 1-800-555-SWAP to swap with the person-to-person of your choice.
Do you think the Suite 2B was a...
I was wondering if that was a B reference, or if that was no, because that's 21B Baker Street. That's not a 2B. Or is this a reference to Hamlet's soliloquy about killing yourself in this children's
2B
book?
or
yeah.
not 2B.
So he's, curious, as all kids are, about the strange ads they see on the internet. For me, it was porn. For him, it's a person-to-person vacation service. But so he takes...
I was also on Team Porn. I don't know why I had to announce it. I didn't need to. I could have let you have it, but...
Yeah, you don't want to... Really, that's not like a high-five situation. That's more of like, we understand. We grew up...
I just like to be part of a group,
So Gary takes down the information. I believe he writes it down with paper and pen, because that's what you do. And he's like, I'm going to go there next day. It's right near my school, which is a hell of a coincidence, because he is a child, so we need to get him to this building on Roach Street. But luckily, he goes to school near Roach Street, which is... I don't think his parents moved here for the school system. But he comes down to dinner. Mom and Dad are just like, what the fuck happened to your face? Does that hurt? And he's just like, yeah, it hurts. Why? And she's like, because it's killing me. And then his mom and dad high five. And Chrissy's like, good one, Mom. And they're just like, actually, they don't say any of that. They're genuinely concerned about his son. And he's just like,
yeah, they seem to be decent parents, all things considered.
Yeah, he says, like, he finally fesses up to wrecking his bike, because Chrissy's just like, he probably got the shit kicked out of him by those three bullies. And his mom's just like, well, we need to fucking stop that. I'm going to go call their moms. And he's just like, no, I wrecked my bike. It really hurt. So take that. And then his dad's just like, what do you mean? Wait, wrecked the bike? Let's go take a look at your bike, buddy. And he's like, fuck. Like, he had to pick, like, this wasn't a lady or a tiger situation. This is a tiger, this smaller tiger situation, really. And he picked the smaller tiger. But then his dad is just like, you should be more careful and always wear a helmet, because that's a good way to get injured, and you're going to have to pay for your stupid mistakes. And it was entirely his fault. So it sounds like his dad's kind of 100% in the right on this one. It's like, yeah, like, so
100%.
handed trying to, that sounds really rude. You handed trying to impress a couple girls, huh? Yeah, me too. Oh, you mean you didn't have your hands on the handles? No, that's stupid, boy. Don't do that. You'll die.
You will.
So he's upset because he's got his allowance is going to go to fixing his bike. His bike's also trashed, so he doesn't have a way to get around. If only he could fly somewhere. So then he's like, I'm going to go play my computer game Planet Monstro, which is totally a real game. And he's mad because the hint he got online, which honestly does sound like a typical gaming hint you get online, where it's literally no context. Just do this thing. It's just like, I understand you do that thing. Explain that. Yeah.
Been trying to do that thing. It's the trying part I need to help with. Yeah.
It's very much like a real, and so he's not able to kill the dragon. He says it like 23 times. Can't even kill the fucking dragon. Gets into bed, but then it touches something under the blankets, and he's just like, oh no, this has been a pretty shitty day. What else could happen? His blood turns to ice, and he jumps out of bed with a blood-curdling scream. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, fuck, what is it? Is it a homeless man? No.
Did he feel a tongue?
That would have been wild.
Oh, that would have been pretty
Wouldn't
great.
that have been wild? What a twist. No, it was a rat.
Still
It was
concerning.
a rat, and he screams. And then he's like, yeah, not great. Personally, I'd rather have a homeless man. But he could hear his sister laughing from down the hallway. It's a gray rubber rat. They got him with the old gray rubber rat. R.L. Stine does like his fake animals.
He really does.
Like rubber rats and snakes and stuff like that. Anyway,
aren't actually rubber worms. R.I.P. Carly Beth's worm.
Yeah, but then end up actually being rubber worm. And he's like, God damn it, I can't take this anymore. I'm even teased in my own house. I can't get a break around here. You know what? In the morning, I'm checking out that ad. I'm doing it. I'm going all in on it. And so, next morning, he finds the address, which he already had written down. And it was right beside his school, so I'm not sure why he needed the address. But he's got the address.
I know the address. It's on.
And he makes
2B, Suite 2B on Road Street. 6 Road Street.
Exactly. And so he gets there, he finds the place. It's kind of an unassuming spot. Walks up to the counter, and a dark-haired woman sat behind a big glass window. And she smiled at me when I came in, and I walked over to her. Good afternoon, she said into a microphone. I jumped. Even though the woman was right in front of me, her voice came out through a speaker on the wall. I stammered nervously. I came about the message on the electronic bulletin board? Oh, yes, the woman replied with another smile. A lot of people learn about us from their computers. Pardon me for such an awkward phrase.
I know. I thought that too. Yeah. I mean, even in 1994, I feel so many people learned about us from computers.
From computers? Pardon me for staying behind this glass shield. You guys get robbed a lot? What's going on in here?
I was thinking COVID.
Yeah, it was a COVID.
I really did. That not even as a joke. I was just like, of course you'd have a thing in front of her. And it's like, oh, no.
But the equipment behind me is so delicate, we have to be very careful about protecting it. Which is fucking weird because she drags it to his house later.
And doesn't even care that it's filled with bees. She's just like, don't worry about all these bees flying into it. That's fine. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, she's got a real fuck bees attitude. We'll get to that. I peered over the woman's shoulder. I could see gleaming metal counters and a wall of electronic equipment, including what appeared to be heart monitors, video screens, x-ray machines, and cameras. It looked like something right out of Star Trek. I suddenly had a heavy feeling in my stomach. You probably don't like kids hanging around in here, I stammered. I started to back away toward the door.
The answer should be yes. She doesn't.
Right, but she goes, not true. This is where it gets fucking creepy, dude. Not true. Many of our customers are young people such as you. A lot of kids are interested in changing places with someone else for a week. What did you say your name was? Gary? Gary Lutz? Nice to meet you, Gary. My name is Miss Carmen. How old are you? About 12? I nodded. Come over here for a minute, Miss Carmen said, motioning him with her hand. Right? No! Cautiously, I walked back over to the glass booth. She opened a little slot at the bottom of her window and pushed out a book. I picked it up and saw that it was a photo album, like the one my parents have from their wedding. It's the only photo album Gary knows. There's no photos. There's no photo album of little Gary.
The wedding photo.
Only when the family keeps us of their own.
Well, technically, Gary is in that album.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. His dad's balls. I opened it and started looking through it. It's kids, I exclaimed. All about my age. So many red flags, Gary.
No. Oh, my
If a stranger hands you a book and it's just pictures of children your age, buddy.
Dozens and dozens and dozens of children. Some of them look familiar, like I'd seen them on the news recently. Like, get out of there. Gary, oh my God, is that John Walsh's kid? Oh no.
Well, that is Adam. Correct, says Mrs. Carmen. They're all interested in switching lives with someone else for a week. A lot of the kids in the pictures looked big and strong and cool. Kids like that wouldn't be afraid of anything, I told myself. I wondered what it would be like to be one of them.
Full body pictures of children, too? At first I was thinking, like, from shoulders
probably
up. Like a headshot. Oh,
yeah,
God,
I think it's full
so
body.
Much worse, right? And she just has one for kids. Like, assuming that other people use the service, she just has an album of children. And what's to stop it from, like, an adult being like, I would like to be Susie for a week.
Yeah. There's no bylaws. This is all gross. She says, it gets worse, kind of. You can pick a boy, or even a girl, for that matter, to trade places with for a week, Miss Carmen was saying. But how does it work? I asked. Do I just go take over somebody's room and live in his house for a week? Go to his school, wear his clothes? The woman laughed. It's far more interesting than that, Gary. With our getaway vacations, you actually become the other person for a week. Huh? And then she goes on to describe what she considers a safe, painless method from which they switch minds and bodies. So his mind goes to another body. Somebody else's mind comes into his body. She says, parents won't even notice. They won't even notice a difference. You'll be in someone else's house playing with all their stuff. And somebody will be in your house playing with all your stuff. And your parents won't be none the wiser. Your body becomes available for somebody else.
Even though clearly she does know, like, I mean, we'll get to this later, but Dirk doesn't do his homework on, like, because the dad's just like, oh yeah, Andretti's bees. And Dirk is just like, what are Andretti, the race car drivers here? Like, it's not like they get a dossier and they're just like, here you go, this is Gary Lutz. You better speed read this because you got 10 minutes while I do this.
You got 10 minutes and you're also going to prom with this person. Yeah, it'd be tough. And she's like, can I take your picture for our catalog? And Gary's like, yeah, I do. And Gary's kind of uneasy about it because he's probably watched enough Stranger Danger videos at school that he's like, something about this seems familiar in a bad way. And so he's kind of uneasy. But he's like, I'm not sure, honestly, about any of this. And she's like, look, why don't you go ahead, fill out the form, let me take a picture of you for the catalog, and then you can go about your merry way. And if we get a bite, if someone comes in, sees what you got, sees the pictures, and says, oh, I want to be him, we'll call you back and see if you're interested in swapping. He's like, okay, I guess that wouldn't hurt for you to just have me on file. Okay. So he goes through with it, fills out the form, asks him a couple questions, nothing major, nothing that you could just replace someone's life with, and takes his picture and lets him go. So on his way home, his chapter's not over yet. It was a rough chapter. I know, we're all sweating. It's uncomfortable. But it gets worse for Gary anyway. As on his way home, he's jumped again by Barry, Mark, and Carl, Marv, and Carl. And he after that, he's like, you know what? As he's wiping blood off his face and trying to recover from one of the worst purple nurples any man's ever experienced, he says, tomorrow's the day. I'm gonna call that woman and I'm gonna go through with it. I'm gonna be another boy. Dum dum dum.
I mean, he doesn't. He continues to be Gary and doesn't do anything of note.
That is the weird. I was bothered by that because the last words of that chapter are basically like, tomorrow I'm going to call. And then when you flip over to the next page, it says, I spent the next few days waiting for her to call me. He doesn't even explain why he didn't call.
Like, this is Gary's problem. Like, Gary doesn't, like, he just seems very like, oh, I did something stupid and they laughed at me. Why? It's like, you don't.
Well, it's because you did something stupid.
Why don't the other kids want me to play baseball? Because you left after 2 innings. What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, they already give you 4 strikes. At least hang around.
So he doesn't do any calls or whatever. He's just sitting on his haunches, waiting for a call to come to him. Guess what, Gary? You gotta pick up the phone and dial sometime. You can't be waiting for that call. You need to be making... Anyway, he's watching Mr. Andretti's bees, and one of them comes under, like, maple tree, and he notices that Mr. A's bee garage... I guess it is. Like, there's no car in there. It's a bee garage.
Yeah. He calls it a garage a couple times. Yeah.
There's a giant hole in the screen, and he's just like, well, that's a surely shitty situation. But he's like, I got to get out of here before, like, all these bees get out. And Mr. A just laughs at him because Mr. A is kind of a piece of shit. Like, yeah, you fuck their bees, man. Like,
yeah, people can be allergic, Mr. Andretti. I don't know, like...
Anaphylaxis is not a joke, Mr. A. Right? It's not. It's really not.
It's not.
Okay?
Yeah.
Gary gets to safety. Unlike me, he's not covered in bees when he runs into the house. But then the phone rings, and Gary picks up the phone, and he's just like, what the fuck do you want? Because he thinks it's one of Chrissy's little friends wanting to gossip, and I'm just like, Jesus, he's way more popular than you, dude. Like... If you pick up the phone in your parents' house,
yeah, Gary,
and it's more likely it's for the 9-year-old girl that lives with you rather than like anyone else, you need to get a friend or something. Like she seems to be way more well put together. Like maybe you could get some tips from her. Like figures. Like anyway, it's Miss Carmen, and she's just like, "Oh, is this Gary Lutz?" And he's just like, "Yeah. Someone from me. Oh, that's so cool." And he's like, "Don't worry, we found you. We found you a boy." We're going to switch your mind into his body and his mind into your body, and everything's going to be A-okay. He wants to switch with you for a week, and I'll be there in about 20 minutes. And Gary's like, that's pretty cool. Not suspicious or weird at all that you'll just be in my house in 20 minutes switching bodies. And, it's a great time because my parents aren't home, and neither's my little sister. And she's like, that's perfect. There's nothing. That's amazing.
She does say that's
I can't
perfect.
Wait to be in your house with you by yourself.
And I feel like it's weird that this process can take place without both parties being present. Like she just goes to him,
sucks out his brain,
and then
leaves. I guess.
Yeah, and then goes to Dirk. Dirk doesn't have to be there to have the. I don't understand anything.
Yeah, because if you think about it, she's either already stopped by Dirk's house, in which case she has Dirk brain in her jar. Oh, his name's Dirk Davis, by the way, and Gary likes that. He's like, that's the coolest name ever, Dirk Davis. And it's like, yeah, if you're fucking porn star, not if you're a 12-year-old, that's just...
Yeah, you're a porn star or an 8-foot-tall basketball player from Germany, and that's it.
Dirk Davis. Dirk the Barbarian Davis for the Pistons. Right? Pistons? That'd be a good basketball team for him. They have a...
Yeah. I was thinking like Dirk Nowitzki was the Dallas. Dirk Davis does feel like a Piston.
Does she do that over the phone where she gets... Yeah, she gets over there. She hands him like the dossier. So she shows up in 19 minutes and 59 seconds, which is even spookier. Like, comes on inside. She's just like, I've got... My doohickey... Oh, I was explaining why it made no sense. Because either way, she's going to leave him on the floor with no brain in his body, go back to Dirk, switch the brains around, then come back with Dirk's brain and then put it in there. And the whole time, Gary's just been lying on the floor drooling, probably peeing himself. Like, I can't imagine his bodily functions are in. So, like, what happens? Does she take... No, she just left him there. It's very weird. It's not a good system. As we find out, because they do it at the kitchen table. He's sitting.
You know what? I feel like R.L. Stine has done a better job of explaining contraptions like this. Like even in the piano lessons or murder or whatever, there's some part of that system that kind of still made sense. Where you're like, okay, I kind of can follow how this would be happening. But this is so...
It has to be Miss Carmen is a psycho rich lady who's just like, I like switching children bodies. Like it's got to be... There's no company. There's no business. It's one mad inventor who clearly doesn't know how to get a business off the ground because she comes in here. She's like the delicate equipment that has to be behind a thick glass partition. She's just like sets on his kitchen table. She's left the door open or some shit because bees are just coming in left and right. Yeah. So like Gary's just like, why are there so many bees in that? It's just bees flying back. It's like, I'm kind of scared of bees. And also, isn't this equipment delicate? And she's like, don't worry about it. Here's Dirk. And she's like, I think she has her creepy little album book in there. And he's like, oh, he's like really cool. And she's like, he's athletic. He's good at skateboarding. And Gary's just like, why does he want to be a piece of shit like me? I'm just a garbage monster. And she's just like, oh, he just wants your brain. He wants you to take math tests for him all week. Which, to me sounds like, what a dick move, Dirk. Jesus Christ. And also Gary's like, oh, I'm pretty good at them. And the scariest thing is Miss Carmen's just like, oh, I know. It's like, how do you know about his grades, Miss Carmen?
Yeah.
And why does that raise a red flag in your brain, Gary? Because he doesn't talk about filling out a questionnaire or anything. It's just like, she drags him in front of the wall, tells him to take off all of his clothes, takes a full body picture of him, and then puts him in the album. Oh, okay.
I don't know what that last part.
There's no questionnaire part of that. How does she know about his grades? Is there a reason why she's so close to this school?
I don't know. I mean, I think there were a few questions on the thing, but it wasn't like specific. It was like, who are your parents?
And yeah.
What are your hobbies? Yeah.
And like, Gary even says it as if like, oh yeah, I'm good at math. Like, he didn't even register that something being on his profile, basically. This is a weird MySpace. But, wait, is it Karen or Carmen? It is Carmen. So
it's Carmen.
This Carmen's just like, I don't really care about bees. Boop, 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 boop. And she's like, don't worry. Dirk's not scared of bees. Bzow! Blinding whap. Whap. Wow. It's just a whap flash of light.
And then I was hit with a wet-ass pussy flash of light.
Blinding white flash. Fuck, sorry. This is going to take forever. Then zap! Fuck. I always get into this stupid...
I'll look away.
Then zap! Blinding white... Whap! Gosh.
Blinding whap flash.
Then zap! Blinding white flash, then all went black. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh my God, but... something was wrong. Something wasn't right. Color started returning. Everything was blurry. He didn't feel right. My new body didn't feel right. I was lying on my back and I felt light as a feather. Light enough to float away. Could this be Dirk Davis's tall, muscular body? It certainly didn't feel like it. Because I felt Dirk Davis's tall, muscular body. And it wasn't like this. Was this some kind of trick? I asked myself. Was the picture of Dirk Davis a phony? Was he really a lot smaller than he looked in the photo album? I reached out one of my hands and tried to touch my stomach, but my hand felt really weird, too. It was small, and my arms seemed to be bending in several places at once. What's going on? I wondered, trembling with fright. Why do I feel so weird? Whoa! I cried out as I finally managed to touch my body. Yuck! My skin was soft, and it was covered with a fine layer of fuzz. Dirk Davis must be going through puberty, I thought. And he didn't put that in there. Help! Miss Carmen, help! Something's wrong! I tried to shout. But there was something wrong with my voice. It came out all tiny and squeaky, little mouse squeaks. I rolled over onto my stomach and tried to get up. I spread my arms to balance myself. I gasped as I realized my feet weren't even touching the ground. I was flying! What's happening to me? I tried in a little squeaky voice. I floated forward and crashed into a kitchen cupboard. Ow, help me! I moved my strange new arms and realized I had some control over which way I flew. I felt some weird muscles in my back going into action. Testing my new muscles, I flew over to the kitchen window. Exhausted, I landed on the sill. I turned my head to one side, then I gasped in fright. A hideous monster was reflected in the window glass. The creature had 2 huge, glaring eyes, and it was staring right at me. And yeah, Gary's now putting it together. He's a bee. He's a bee. Uh-oh. Dum dum dum.
I mean, he's straight up a bee. Yeah, he talks
he's
about
a bee,
like
dude.
Just checking himself out in the reflection. He blinks his eyes a couple of times. I don't think bees can blink. It must be metaphorical, but he's like, I don't look at all like Dirk Davis. I had 2 giant eyes, one on either side of my head, and 2 skinny little antennas sticking out of my forehead. My mouth was truly disgusting. I had some kind of long tongue, which I soon discovered I could move all around and make longer and shorter if I wanted. Which I didn't. Wish I didn't.
Yeah, thank you. Ugh. I would have spent all day with my tongue. You know, that would have been first day of being a bee. I'm tonguing all day. I'm not even flying.
Going up to other bees, being like, dude, look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. It's like, we can all do that. It's like, look at.
Yeah, hell, I go to Ladybugs and show off. Check this out, bitches.
Just go lickety-split. So, my body was covered with thick black hair. I had 3 legs on either side of my body. And let's not forget the wings sticking out of my shoulders. This is the pits, I cried. I'm a bug. I'm a disgusting hairy bug. Miss Carmen, something went wrong. Help me. So Miss Carmen is not very helpful. Basically through this entire book. And the true villain of this book is what seems to be just kind of a scatterbrained office worker, except she has tremendous power at her disposal and a book filled with pictures of children. Yeah. And so Gary's like, I need to come after her. She's leaving the house, and he's just like, oh, gotta go quick before she drives off or some nonsense. Flies out the back door and round to her car, and he's just trying to get her attention. So he's just like, he flies straight into her forehead. I'm gonna say Gary does this repeatedly throughout the book without learning that people swat bees that launch themselves at him, and he's just like, Gary,
yeah. Kind of like how bees never learn. I guess it's kind of on point.
He's a human being.
That's true.
Being.
Being. Yep.
So she hits him, and he falls straight down the street, and he hits the ground hard, and he's just boom. But Miss Carmen, again, scatterbrained, doesn't finish the job. Instead, just gets into her car. Gary's putting the pieces together, getting his feet under him. Looks up and sees the tire coming down on him, using the 3 eyes arranged in a triangle pattern on the top of his head to be like, oh shit, there's a car tire coming down on me. Bum, bum, bum!
Oh my god, he's going to get ran over by a car and the book's going to end before we even get to chapter 2. Nope. It stops just shy of squishing sweet little honey-filled Gare Bear into the pavement. But he flies up and the car stops, sees she has stopped to fasten her seatbelt. Gary has the wherewithal to drop the seatbelts really do save lives quip, which is very appreciated. I'm sure a lot of organizations that R.L. Stine supported back in the 90s, I'm sure one of them was the seatbelt group, and they were like, can you get a little something in there about seatbelts for the kids? Just a little reminder in there about the kids and the seatbelt. He's like, sure, I'll find a way. So shy of killing a boy, he gets a little seatbelt safety in there. And then she drives off, and Gary, he flies over to a leaf. He's sad. He's like, fuck, I'm a bee. And the only person that can help me just drove away in a car. And I'm a bee. Damn it. And then he sees a caterpillar, and he's like, God damn, y'all are ugly. I like that he took the time to just slam another species out of nowhere. So he flies over, he sees his mom. He flies back home, sees his mom's going inside the house. And he flies over, he's looking in the window, and he sees his mom talking to him. He's like, what? Oh no, she's talking to Dirk Davis, who is now me, hereforth referred to as Fake Gary. Dirk Davis is now Fake Gary. He's become Gary, but he's not Gary. And B. Gary looks on. And he's jealous. He's jealous that Fake Gary is calling his mom, which I guess would be a weird out-of-body experience. You're just like, but no, dude, that's my mom. Well, I guess it is your mom. It's weird. So he starts, I do like when he gets exasperated, he describes himself as just buzzing and smashing into the window. Like, what else does he want to do? But it is kind of cute. He's just buzzing around, angry as a hornet, you might say. He's like, all of this... becoming a bee and having my life destroyed and seeing someone else become part of my family. Goddamn, I have worked up an appetite. I am quite hungry. He's like, what do bees eat? Then there's this book he references a lot. I don't remember the name of it, but there was this bee reference book.
The Big Book of Bees, I think is what it was called.
Big Book of Bees. Yeah. And he slowly remembers bits and pieces from that book throughout to help him stay alive as a bee for about a day. But he's like, oh yeah, pollen. They eat pollen. I ain't gonna find some pollen. Anyway, Dad's home. He sees Dad's home. And Dad's walking toward the house, and Gary's like, buzz, 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 Dad! Buzz, 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 Dad! And he hears his dad say, oh, hi, Gary. Did Dad see him?
No.
Dum dum dum.
No, he was talking to fake Gary,
fuck.
aka Dirk Diggler. But as the ultimate bit of just shit on Gary day, Gary's just like, Dad, it's me. No, that's the fake Gary. And Dad takes a newspaper to him. He's just like, get this bee out of here. Bah! Real son, come with me inside. But B. Gary, he tries to go in with his dad and fake Gary, but he's too late and flies into the door instead. But he's just like, you know what? I need to get to Miss Carmen. She's the only one who can put everything back together. He's going to be so disappointed in the stupidest possible way. But it's just Miss Carmen is a nightmare. But he gets ready to fly. But then he gets pounced on by Klaus the cat. I keep wanting to say Klaus, as if that's what a 9-year-old girl in 1994 would name her cat. It's Klaus die Katze.
I had Klaus in my head the whole time. It wasn't until I started putting these notes together I was like, oh, it's Klaus.
Yeah. No, it's Klaus. Klaus die Katze. So, comes down and is about to take down Gary once and for all. Oh, man, this cat is probably so happy. He can probably smell Gary in there. He's just like, bum, bum, bum.
Smell Gary. He's like, the cat was like, I smell bitch in this bee. And then, and Gary was like, oh, man, I'm going to sting the cat. That's what I'll do. I'll sting it. I'll put my stinger in the cat. I don't want to have to do it, but I'll do it to save my own life. And he's like, wait a minute. Don't honeybees lose their stingers and die if they sting something? I don't want to do that. I don't want to die. So he finds a way to escape before the cat noms on him. Oh, thank God. No one's hurt. So he flies up and away. He does a little victory spin because Gary's still kind of a piece of shit. And he does a little victory spin like, escape the cat. Screw you, Klaus, you piece of shit. And then all of a sudden he feels something swoop around his body. And oh my God, he's been captured by Mr. Andretti's net. Oh shit. Dum, dum, dum. Chapter 13, Dylan, take it away.
I'm gonna, do you know what exactly it is that kills the honeybee?
Lay it on us. Yeah. What is it?
No, I'll tell you when Gary does it, because it is pretty fucking horrifying what actually happens. So Gary's quiet little death could have been so much better. Much better.
If only R.L. Stine had opened up his big book of bees and laid into it, you know?
No, I'm pretty sure his editor was like, you can't put that in the children's book. That is unacceptable. Like, no dogs and children cannot. So
he's like, that's Fear Street business there, bud. You put that in the Fear Streets.
I think this might even go beyond Fear Street a little bit. So I'm gonna read to you from a little bit from the beginning of this aforementioned chapter 13. From the loud humming sounds in my ears, I knew I wasn't the only bee Andretti had caught in his net. In fact, out of my right eye, I could see another bee who looked just like me. He loomed right in front of me and wiggled his antennas in my face. Whoa! What a monster! My wiry legs began trembling with fright. I twisted myself around and around, struggling to get away from him. I finally got myself turned the other way, but then I saw I was facing another bee. And another. Each one looked scarier than the last. They all had big, bulging eyes and creepy antennas, and they all buzzed menacingly at me. The frightening humming grew louder and louder as Mr. Andretti caught more bees in the net. Suddenly the net began to shake. Up and down, like a violent earthquake, until I couldn't even think straight. As the net shook, I lost my footing and fell into a big squirming cluster of bees at the bottom of the net. Whoa! I stumbled over the pile of wriggling, hairy bees. As I staggered in terror, bees fell on top of me. A crawling, buzzing nightmare. I've never been so terrified. I screamed in my tiny voice. I tried to climb up the side of the net, but my feet were stuck under another bee's body. How I hated the feel of his disgusting fuzz. In my terror, I knew I had to escape. I had to get away from here. I had to get to Miss Carmen's office and beg her to help me. Then I had the most terrifying thought of all. If I couldn't escape, I suddenly realized, I would remain a bee for the rest of my life.
Oh my God, that's heavy. Well, light, because bees are light, but you get what I mean. Metaphorically heavy on the soul.
It's pretty heavy,
on the soul.
Why is everything heavy in the future, Marty? It's from Back to the Future. Heavy. So he's having some regrets at this point. But he sees Mr. A reaching in to take the bees out of the net. The ones that are still stuck in there, the one obstinate, stupid ones like Gary the Klutz. Oh my god, no, I'm doing it too.
Lutz the Klutz.
Mr. A's, once again, not wearing gloves like he always brags about. My bees would never sting me. Ever, ever, never, ever, ever would a bee ever sting me because I'm so amazing. And Gary is thinking, even though he literally just nearly died, and he decided, I will not use my stinger even to save myself from certain death. In this case, he's just like, should I die to teach this smug bastard a lesson? Bum, bum, bum.
Yes. Yes, please God, do it, because that would be amazing and kind of funny.
Could you imagine if this book ended? And on it, spoiler alert, if he had, that's the funny thing. Every time he nearly stings something and then pulls back from it, he could have reset himself immediately. His death is what triggers him going back to his own body. Yes. So really, every time that he's like, I'm going to sting him. No, I shouldn't because I could die. Is a moment he could have been home that much sooner. So this whole book is just like, oh, he could have been home if he had stung the cat. In chapter 13, he could have been, or 12. Like, chapter 13 could have started with, and I stung that fucking cat, and then I was in my body. And it's like, oh, that was a quick fix.
We'll get into why that part kind of bothers me, but I'm going to blame it on page limits. We'll get there. But for now, he doesn't sting Mr. Andretti because he's like, I don't want to die. So now he's inside the bee drawer.
Which is a healthy attitude for a 12-year-old boy. He doesn't want to die.
Sure. I mean, sir, he wanted to leave his own body, a couple chapters ago and probably wished death upon himself. But now he's like, I want to kind of see where this goes. So he's inside that bee drawer. It's a deafening hum. I imagine so. I was trying to imagine what life would be like inside of a bee drawer. And I think R.L. Stine does a pretty good job of making it a very claustrophobic, grimy, sticky, prickly, uncomfortable situation.
Noisy.
Yeah. Noisy, buzzy. And the bees, he says one bee looks threatening. I'm imagining most of the bees are looking pretty threatening. It's just bees kind of have an aura about them. I've never seen a bee and been like, oh, he looks like he wants a hug. Most of the time it's like, oh, they don't want me to touch him. So anyway. There's a bee, look threatening. Gary's like, oh shit, I don't even know. Do bees attack other bees? I don't remember that from my big bee book. I'm not real sure. But I tell you what, I'm fucking hungry and I need to hide. So he's hungry, he's looking around, and I'm going to read a little bit from the book here. He says, on the far wall, I could see a large cluster of bees busily building something, a honeycomb. And where there was a honeycomb, I told myself there was honey. I've always hated the sweet, sticky goo, but I knew I had to eat some right away. As quietly as I could, I crept over and joined the bee workers. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw them doing really gross things with their mouths. First, they used their legs to pick little flakes of waxy-looking stuff off their abdomens. Then they crammed the wax into their mouths and started working their jaws up and down like little chewing machines. And finally, they spit out the wax and used it to build part of the honeycomb they were working on. Yuck! It looked so disgusting it made me sick. But what choice did I have? I had to eat honey even if it was covered with bee spit. I turned my head and practiced sucking my tongue up and down. Then I slurped up a big puddle of honey.
Sounds like something we all used to do as young boys in our bedrooms for the first time.
Right? Yeah. Usually didn't go in that order. You wipe the crust off your abdomen last. But anyway, amazing, he says. That was good honey. I guess I've been missing out. And he realizes, he's like, you know what? Being a bee's not so bad. I think, I could probably get used to this. I'd be good at it.
Fuck you, Gary. I'm sorry.
Right? Then he just, out of nowhere, gets really tired. He's like, oh, I am honey drunk. And starts to just sink down into the hive, fade to black. Dum, dum, dum.
Gary wakes up to another bee angrily approaching him. He knows that bees buzz as a matter of course. That's not like they buzzed angrily. That's just kind of the noise they make. That's not an especially angry. That's not an indicator of anger. That's kind of like a snake hissing. It's not being mean to you. That's just how snakes do. He needs to calm down with anthropomorphizing these bees, is what I'm saying. Runs away. I do enjoy the thought of little Gary the Bee running as fast as he can on all 6 legs, just like, oh, I gotta get out of here. He's more angry.
There's a lot of comedy in this. Like, he describes a lot of things terrifying, but I'm kind of like finding them adorable. Because it's a little bee boy.
He's just like, are they mad at me because I'm not doing my special job? Because he remembers in his big book of bees and from his own observations around the hive that bees work night and day because they're busy as bees. He literally says that because he got to say that. And so he's like, are these bees mad at me because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, how do I tell them what my bee job is? Like, I don't know what it is. But then 3 bees come up to him and block his path. And he's just like, oh, no. This is Barry, Marvin, Carl, the bee buddies. They're just like the bee bullies, the bullies in the real world, but now they're bees. They're not actually bees. They didn't get the person-to-person thing. But one of these bees flips him the stinger, and Gary's just like, I know how to deal with this situation, and just books it again. But he's bumping into another bee. This one's moving fast. It's going somewhere. And he's just like, maybe I should follow it, because bees got to go out sometime. And this guy looks like he's going somewhere in a hurry. But he loses them almost immediately. Gets lost some more. We're kind of in an upstairs-downstairs part of this book where it's just like, he's lost in this hive. And at one point, it's just like, what day is it?
This kind of chapter felt a little, like, almost like filler, but more in I want to paint this hive as a bad place that Gary doesn't want to ever come back to.
Yeah, because it's just all that bees, and the bees don't seem to like him. But then he realizes he's back kind of where Mr. A dropped him in originally. And all these bees are around him now, and they're pushing and shoving him in, which I don't even know. That's probably adorable. Like, watching a bee bully another bee. Like, just being like, hey. Just bumping into each other. Aw. And he starts to shake from fear because it's Gary, man. Come on. Why do you think these bees... Bum, bum, bum. Or bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah, he... Bzz, bzz, bzz. Well, he closes his bee eyes. And he waits to be crushed by them, apparently. He says crushed. I don't know how that's going to happen, Gary, but he waits to be crushed. Nothing happens. Opens his eyes, realizes the bees, they were just shoving him out of the way so one bee could do a dance. He's like, what's going on? Is this guy about to stomp the yard? About to stomp the hive? But he remembers from his big bee book, oh, that's right, bee scouts who will leave the hive, they'll go out, they find food, they come back, they do a little dance just to instruct the other bees about what happened, where that food is. And he's like, oh, that must be what's going on here. And then he puts together, he's like, wait a minute. If this motherfucker left the hive, scouting some food, he's back here dancing, that means there's a way out of the hive. There's a way out somewhere to food. How? Well, we're about to find out. Because that's what this dance was all about. All the bees get in a line. Nice little orderly single file line. Gary hops in the back. He knows this place. They march toward the hole. Bzz, 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 bzz. Fly out of the drawer. Looking for that food. Gary follows. He's like, man, I'm never coming back here. Dude, I'm finally out of this fucking place. Hell yeah, dude. And then he kind of, for some reason, Gary breaks from the pack. He goes straight to where he knows that hole in the screen was so he can get the hell out of here. And he gets there. No hole. Andretti already patched that shit. He's like, damn it. So now he's disappointed because he's like, well, shit, that was how I was going to get out of here. So he flies over to the top of the bee drawer hive, sits on top of it, just chilling, thinking bee thoughts, wondering what the fuck is he going to do now? I got to regroup. Andretti comes outside, sees one bee, Gary, on top of the hive, and he's like, was that bee fucking sick? What's that bee doing? Goes to reach for him with his bare, weird, soft Andretti hands to grab him up. Bum, bum, bum.
So I don't know what Mr. A was going to do to Gary, but Gary's just like, I don't want to know what happens to sick. He might feed me to his frog or to a pet bird or some nonsense. So he just books it out of there because he remembers he can fly. That does seem to be the solution a couple of times for some of these cliffhangers. I got these vzz on my wings. Yeah, let's go. I got wings. But then he sees the other hole in his screen where bees are returning for food. This is probably a deliberate hole for the bees to come and go, because otherwise it defeats the purpose of keeping bees.
This whole thing's kind of confusing, though. It's not really well explained where holes are and what's going on.
There has to be a way for the bees to get out, to come back. So this is probably the deliberate hole, but not the giant hole in the screen that he saw earlier, I'm assuming. But now he's excited. Although there's a moment where he's just like, I'm going to leave with... And the other bees are like, get the fuck out of the way and wait in line. He's like, sorry. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. No, I understand. You were in line first. And then Gary goes. So he's super excited. He goes over to his house, flies in as his dad is leaving. He's wicked excited to be back inside. Sees his sister. He's like, Chrissy, I'm a fucking bee. The number of times he tries to talk to somebody, infuriating. It's like, understand this. Yeah. This is the 14th person you've tried to talk to, and they're just like, I don't hear bees. And then he's like, wait a second. Gotcha. That actually becomes a plot point. there's so many unaddressed moments in this book, like where Dirk is like, I could talk to other bugs. Like, what is happening? Like, I want to talk to Dirk and be like, what are you hearing? Like, what the fuck is happening in the book? Yeah.
How was this happening before?
For the beat. Anyway, so he's like, Chrissy's gonna help me, even though I fucking hate her and she drives me crazy, whatever, blah, blah. And Chrissy's just like freaks out, tries to chase him off, knocks him out on the countertop, and then he sees her coming back with a fly swatter. And at this point, he's just like, oh fuck. Chrissy's known for she's known for a lot of things in this house, but one of the things she's most known for is fucking being a monster with a fly swatter. Like,
apparently that's her trait.
She brings down that fly swatter and he's like, my death is coming for me. She misses. Which makes me think, like, are you really overstating? Because she missed a stationary target on the countertop. She must have been
with a fly swat. Yeah. That's
the only thing I can think of. She raises to swat again. Bum, bum, bum.
And she fucking hits him multiple times. Whap, whap, whap. She fucking squishes our boy. And this is kind of fucked up because the whole time she's just swatting him and probably parts of his guts are leaking out and he's just screaming, stop squashing me! Chrissy, please, it's your brother Gary! And he even says, man, why is she so bloodthirsty? Couldn't she just open a window and shoo me out? Jesus Christ. So now he's pretty wounded. He's all beat up. And he decides, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to stagger off and fly upstairs. I'm going to talk to fake Gary. I got a new plan. I'm going to get fake Gary to bail me out of this. That's right. I'll talk to him. Apparently talking to people is a thing that still might work in my mind. Hasn't yet. Maybe I just haven't said the right thing. So he flies up there. Fake Gary's conked out on the bed. Just out cold, dude. Because B. Gary's walking on his face, buzzing in his ear, inside his ear.
Oh, yeah.
Buzzing. That'll wake you up. But fake Gary, Dirk, does not stir at all. And when I was reading the book, I was like, he's fucking dead.
Gotta be dead.
Gotta be dead. But B. Gary, he looks over at the computer and he's like, oh, yeah, I got an idea. I'm going to go over, I'm going to type a message. Now, I don't really think there's a keyboard out there where a bee could have enough weight to push in a key. Maybe.
I will tell you this, because I have birds, as I pointed out. They are much bigger, and I'll say that for our smaller bird, who's around 40 grams, cannot set off a key. So, unless he's a 40-gram bee.
There you go.
I mean, I guess he could be going up in the air and just doing a bam, just like right into each key. Yeah.
Buzzing down. Well, apparently works for him. He manages to type by jumping around on the different keys. I am not B. I am Gary. Hello, me. Fucking typo. He fucked it up. He didn't type help me.
And this is the old style computer where you need the whiteout to fix it. Like,
yeah. And he's like, he sees fake Gary's over there stirring. No time to fix the typo. Which I'm like, nah, there's plenty. If he sees you typing, that's
more
evidence.
Impressive. Yeah, that's actually better than you seeing a stupid message on there.
You just tried to wake him up. You were in his ear. Why does him waking up suddenly bad? I don't understand. I didn't understand it. I was upset. So Gary gets up and he's getting dressed, and B. Gary's like over there on the computer table, like, Buzz, hey motherfucker, look at the computer. Look. Fake Gary don't give no shit about no computer. He gets dressed and just walks out of the room. B. Gary's just hoping fake Gary looks at the monitor. Will he see it? I don't know. Dumb.
So fake Gary leans in, because he does actually, he's like, oh, the computer. It's on.
Yeah, I said he walked out. He didn't walk out yet. He does interact, yeah.
Yeah. So he looks at the computer. He's like, did I leave this on all night? Stupid me turns it off without really looking at it and walks away. And like, Gary the Bee is just like, what the fuck, man? Be a dork. So he's following Fake Gary now. Fake Gary goes out to the garage and he pulls out a skateboard. Now, we hear a long, tiresome story from B. Gary about how he got a skateboard for a birthday present and he nearly died, quote unquote. And then he put it in his garage and never thought about it again. But as we know from Dirk Diggler's much more thoroughly researched and filled out profile, he's wicked good on the skateboard.
Yeah.
And it turns, so like, B. Gary's just like, what the fuck's going on with this? And he follows Fake Gary. And Fake Gary is just like, goes outside with his skateboard. He probably looks so fucking cool. He looks like the JTT, I bet. Like, all the girls are just like, like, oh shit, it's JTT. But Kayla and Judy come up to him. These are the two girls that saw Gary face plant into a puddle of mud after doing a really stupid thing on his bike the other day. And Gary's just like, they're gonna laugh in his face and he's gonna start crying like I do every night. But Fake Gary's just like, what's up? Caitlin and Judy's like, you ready to show us some cool thrashing sessions on your board so we can learn? And Fake Gary's like, cool, let's go. And they're like, we told some other hot girls from the school about it and they want to do it too. And he's like, that's cool. Let's go show them.
So smooth, dude.
And real Gary's like, what the fuck? Oh shit. Am I the
How
problem?
long would that be though? Yeah, you see a guy in your body just killing it, and you're like, okay, so I was blaming the wrong thing the whole time.
Yeah, it's not my looks or it's literally not the outward appearance. It's what inside that matters, and what's inside for me is shit. Apparently, but so like Gary the Bee is just like, I'll follow him. I need to take notes down or whatever. Follows him to the playground, gets into Fake Gary's ear again, and she's like, motherfucker, I'm in a bee. We need to switch. Fake Gary's just not even paying attention because he's just like, yeah, we're going to thrash in some shreds. It'll be really totally cool. Let's just get away. And he like swings at Gary the Bee, and Gary just goes flying, hits the ground again. B. Gary then goes back to like thinking like, oh, I should probably go talk to Miss Carmen. It's like, yes, go to the person with the machine. What's Dirk gonna do?
What?
So he's like, I need to go find. I'm sorry, I just saw the cliffhanger for this one, and this is probably the most.
It's terrible.
I
was mad.
Okay, we'll get there, my friends. There's a part in Misery. Yeah, I'm talking about Misery, the book by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Where
great movie. One of the best adaptations of a Stephen King work.
It is true. Where I can't remember her name to save the life of me, though.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. I was talking about the character, but yeah, Kathy Bates tells the writer, he's just like, that's like a cliffhanger has to be honest. Like you can't, this is in the book, I don't know if it's in the movie. A cliffhanger has to be honest. You can't just like show the hero exploding and then next week come back and say like, oh, you didn't see that. Whoop, we changed the ending, basically. You can't do that. That's cheat. That's cheating bullshit. And I agree with Annie. It's Annie is her name. Annie Wilkes, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So Annie, and she's a psychopath, but she's fucking right. That's how you tell a story. You can't, if you write them into an impossible situation at the end of the chapter, you got to figure it out, or you need to figure out a new ending. Anyway.
If psychopaths are good at anything, it's telling stories.
Exactly.
She's good. Yeah.
I flew onto a tree and tried to figure out which way to fly. When you're an insect, everything looks different to you. Things that seem small to a person appear huge to a bee. So I wanted to be sure I didn't get myself mixed up and fly off in the wrong direction. Standing on a big leaf, I gazed up and down the block until I knew which way to go. As I got ready to take off, a large shadow suddenly loomed over my head. At first, I thought it was a small bird, but then I realized it was a dragonfly. Stay calm, I told myself. Dragonfly is an insect, right? And insects don't eat each other, right? I'm going to interject here. I'm like, Gary, you're a fucking moron. I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Insects don't eat each other. Like...
It's one of their favorite pastimes.
Yeah. Dragonflies, like, they love bee dinners. Like, I've heard them say that many a time. They're just like, Give me a Stouffer's that's nothing but bees. Can you imagine that if you just opened up a Stouffer's after you'd microwaved it, and it's just filled with steaming hot bees?
Bees? Wouldn't it be cool, though, if he had stung the dragonfly between the eyes, like in the game?
Yes!
Wouldn't that have been kind of neat?
Well,
Poetic?
what's weird is
That'd
he calls the caterpillar, he says the caterpillar looks like a dragon.
Yeah.
But then he comes across an actual dragonfly. Maybe this is actually his journey to being not a little shit. Anyway, and insects don't eat each other, right? That's just the stupidest thing. Like, what kid doesn't... I guess no one told the dragonfly. Before I could move, it zoomed down, wrapped its teeth around my middle, and bit me in two. Bum, bum, bum! You know what? The most metal ending of a chapter in any Goosebumps book.
Right? But it was just his imagination buzzing away with him. It was just his imagination buzzing away. Yeah, it didn't happen. It was all his imagination. It's explained away in less than a sentence. It's like, oh, I was just dreaming that. Anyway, so I fly on over to the person. Yeah, it got a groan out of me. I was like, oh, RL, you're better than this, bud. I know was March a little too busy for you, bud? You coming off hot off that horror land and you flopped one for us, bud. You did a flop. Anyway, he flies over to the person-to-person place, waits for the mailman to put some mail in the mail slot so he can squeeze in, goes inside, flies up to Miss Carmen's office, flies up to her desk, full head of steam. He's determined. I'm not going to be a bee much longer. Smack! Right into the clear glass window.
The number of time Gary hits a wall, Gary hits a door, Gary hits his sister's fly swatter.
Barry's fist. The guy is just... I don't know how he's still together, to be honest with you.
I mean, he's a fucking bee. Like, that's the problem.
That's true. Smacks into that glass separator. Completely forgot it was there. So did the reader. I thought it was great. I was actually kind of like, that got me on that one. Knocks him out. He gets up, staggers onto her desk, and he's like, Miss Carmen, it's me, Gary Lutz. Look what happened. Miss Carmen, can you help me? Dum, dum, dum.
This is going to absolutely shock you, Travis. But when Gary the Bee tries to talk to Miss Carmen, she doesn't hear him. Holy shit. No, doesn't even react. She's just like, ah. But then Gary gets a fucking great idea. He sees the microphone.
Finally.
I don't think we mentioned the microphone earlier, but because
I did. I made sure to mention it. I leaned into that.
So she's got that microphone so she can talk to people in the office, and like, I've got a clever idea for once. Goes to the microphone and starts squawking into it. And at this point, just like, okay, I'm willing to buy the fact that a bee with no augmentations whatsoever, minds just got swapped, is somehow able to talk without vocal cords, teeth, a tongue, lips, a soft palate. These are all things that are necessary to form human speech, none of which a bee has. Well, their palates are probably chitinous too, so they're not even soft if they do have palates, I'm guessing.
Your guess is as good as mine, and I didn't even have one. Also,
is he going to sound like he's at like double speed too? Like he's still going to be like,
Miss Carmen! I thought about doing a bee voice for him throughout, but I was like, people would rather kill themselves than hear me do that.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear what I just did? No one wants to hear that for extended periods of time. Miss Carmen, I shouted, putting my mouth next to the hard metal. Miss Carmen! Her eyes opened wide. Her mouth dropped open in confusion. She stared out into the waiting room, searching for the person speaking. It's Gary Lutz, I called out, and I'm down here on your microphone. Miss Carmen stared down at the microphone. Excuse me, it's Ms. Carmen. It's not Miss.
Miss, yeah.
Then her eyes narrowed in fear. What's going on? Who's doing this? Is this a joke? No, I cried. It's no joke at all. It's really me, Gary Lutz. But, she stammered, but no other words came out. What's the joke? How are you doing that? Her voice was so loud, the sound waves nearly blasted me off the microphone. You don't have to yell, I cried. I can hear you. I don't believe this, she explained in a trembling voice. She stared down at me. It's all your fault, I shouted angrily. You messed up the transfer operation. When you made the switch, one of my neighbor's bees must have gotten into the machine. So instead of putting me into Dirk Davis's body, you put me into a bee. Maybe she sets up the machines at 2 different locations? So she doesn't just, like, suck out one of their brains, go to the other person's house, put their brain in, then go back to the first person. Maybe she went to Dirk's place, sat him in a chair, popped a cap on his head, and said, like, all right, in 20 minutes, don't fucking move. I'm going over to Gary's house. Don't move. Stay.
It's crazy that I do want to know more. I have to know how this works. This is such batshit.
Just these one-man operations, just. Ms. Carmen blinked. Then she slapped her forehead. Well, that explains it, she cried.
Come on, Miss Carmen.
That explains why Dirk Davis's body has been behaving so strangely. She picked up some papers on her desk and started putting them into her briefcase. I really must apologize, she said. I feel really bad, Gary. This is the tone I think she's actually delivering. Like, I don't think she...
Yeah.
Like, we've never had a mix-up like this before. I hope it's at least been interesting for you. Interesting, I shrieked. It's been a nightmare. You wouldn't believe what I've been through. I've been attacked by screen doors, cats, fly swatters, you name it. You yourself almost ran me over with your car. All the color drained from her face. Oh no, she cried, her voice a whisper. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Well, what about it? I asked her impatiently. What about what? What about getting back into my body? Can you do it right away? Miss Carmen cleared her throat. Well, I could, she replied slowly. Normally, I could transfer you right back, but there's a slight problem in your case. What kind of problem? I demanded. It's Dirk Davis, Miss Carmen replied. It seems he's become very attached to your old body. He likes your house and your parents, too. In fact, he even likes your sister, Christy. So? I cried. So what's that supposed to mean? Miss Carmen stood up and pushed in her desk chair. It means, she said, that Dirk Davis is refusing to give up your old body. He says he absolutely won't go back to his old life. He plans to keep your body forever. Bum, bum, bum.
And Gary's all like, what the fuck? That can't be right. You can't allow that. There's going to be some negative buzz on Yelp. I'll say that much. She says that, well, there's nothing she can do. Gary, you can just go wait in the hive to see if Dirk changes his mind. That's all you can do. You can just wait to see if he changes his mind. She's like, I feel bad. I want to help. But I can't just go around convincing boys to change their mind. You know how hard it is to convince them to even show up here in the first place and let me take pictures of them? I don't want to press my luck, Gary. And then, whether it's real or not, whether she feigns it or she's legitimately upset, she leaves the room in a bit of a, steamed tussle. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but she just leaves the room upset and inadvertently shuts the door, leaving Gary shut inside a room that he now can't escape because B's not great with doorknobs. So Gary, flying around, trying to figure out a way out, he does see Dirk's paperwork and his address on a piece of paper on her desk. So now he knows where Dirk lives. That's good. We'll keep that in our pocket. Maybe he can go over to OG Dirk's, the original Dirk's house, and he'll know how to get the body back. He'll talk to him and be like, hey, man, we're kind of stuck. Do you want to maybe figure out a way to get our bodies back? It's weird you hadn't thought of it yet. You've not been kind of upset about it, but here I am. So maybe we can work together. And as he's flying around, he looks on a calendar in Miss Carmen's office, and he sees that, oh, shit, it's Friday. I got to get out of here soon because if this is freaking weekend, baby, she might be planning a vacation. She's not going to be back for at least 2 days. You know? Fuck, I'll die. In 2 days, I'll die. There's no pollen in here. I absolutely die. I need to find a place. Oh, look, a bathroom with a window. I'm going to leave now. Nice little MacGuffin, little escape. Oh, God, I'm going to die in 2. Okay, there's a window. There's a way out immediately. Solves the problem. So leaves, goes over to OG Dirk's place. We're calling him OG Dirk, the original gangster Dirk. Sees him out in his yard, and this is hilarious to me. This is my favorite part of the book. Gary tries to talk to Dirk. He's like, as a B, Dirk, hey, it's me, Gary. And Dirk like just grins at him like, "Oh, hey, B, hey, B, hey, B," and he's not actually talking; he's just grinning. But he has that look on his face like he's saying, "Hey, there's a bee." He can't effectively communicate at all. He just picks up a flower, shoves his face into it, does a big sniff, and then just grins all dumb. And I'm like, God damn, I love this guy. And then Gary's like, "Oh, fuck. Yep. Dirk has a bee's brain. Okay, shit. Well, he's honestly a little too dumb and hopeless to help me out." And this is sad. This is just a boy wandering around a yard, sniffing plants hard. No one's helping him. No one gives a shit. No one's ran outside to be like, "Are you okay, Dirk?"
And the parents don't fucking... Like, imagine what his parents, like, overnight, instantaneously, their son is gone in his brain. Like...
Yeah.
And Miss Cartman is just like, no wonder he's acting so weird. Like, she's not any more concerned. She's still running the business. Like, she has something got fucked up. She knows something got fucked up because she's like, oh, that explains why Dirk's like just fucking trying to eat a flower. Like, oh, good. Load off my mind. Anyway, I'm going to go home for the weekend. Bye. Like,
yeah. Crazy. I also love the little detail of like Dirk keeps sniffing flowers and looking up, and his whole like bottom part of his like face, mouth, and nose is just covered in pollen. Ah, so good. So Gary's like, well, this is sad. I'm going to go back and see if I can get fake Gary to give me his body back. I mean, I've tried once. It didn't work. That's all I got. I'll just go over there and annoy him. Maybe we'll have a breakthrough. And he heads over and he finds fake Gary getting ganged up on by who else? Barry, Marv, and Carl. Uh-oh. Dum.
Now, Gary the Bee's a little concerned because he's just like, well, I may not be in that body, but I hope to get back to it soon, and I hope it doesn't get too damaged. But it turns out that Barry, Marv, and Carl, they were backing away from Gary the Fake. And Marv has got his hands up. He's just like, don't mess with me, all right? Come on, Gary. I promise, don't break my other thumb, all right? Like, just don't hurt me anymore. I promise I will get you the money. Fake Gary's just like, hey, losers, why don't you go take a hike before I make you regret being alive? Also, Marv, tell your mother I'll be there at 9, and I'm not fucking kidding.
Man, I wish.
So, Gary the Bee is just like, listen, if fake Gary can mess with these goons, you know what? I think it's time Gary the Klutz becomes Gary's got nuts and decides that he's gonna... I managed to pull something out, and it wasn't my own nuts.
You did great.
It was...
I was panicking for you, and I was like, oh, nice.
And decides he's gonna have a little fun of his own. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, because that's literally what he says, but I decided I'd have some fun with him, too. I swooped down and landed on Barry's nose, buzzing as loudly and menacingly as I could. Yow! He shrieked in surprise and swatted himself on the nose. I was too fast for him. I was already on Carl's ear. Carl cried out and toppled backwards into a thorny rosebush. Then I buzzed round and around Marv. Get away! He shouted angrily, and I flew right into his mouth. His scream nearly deafened me, but it was worth it. Marv started spitting and choking and gagging. I flew up into the air laughing so hard I nearly popped my antennas. That was the most fun I'd had since becoming a bee. I watched the 3 gorillas run away. That's a nice moment. I'm glad that Gary... Because at a certain point you could be like, oh, I guess he sort of got his comeuppance because the bullies think that he beat them up. But Gary actually went down there in a more fragile state, technically. I think this is the turning point for Gary where he's actually like kind of taking ownership of the fact that he's a limp noodle.
Yeah, and he's got to do something he's got to be somebody. You know what I mean?
Just so many bee jokes. So he goes back home, flies in through the window, and tries to get fake Gary's attention. And fake Gary's just like, get out of here. Go on. Beat it. I'm trying to relax. And bee Gary's just like, what, you can hear me now? And fake Gary's like, yeah. It's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah. No, I can totally 100% hear you, as previously implied by Dylan and Travis.
I had to read that part a couple of times. I was like, he can?
So apparently...
Now?
So this is leading credence to my theory that there's a transfer receiving device on each child, and then she presses a button, and it transmits. So she's already hooked up Dirk. Mm-hmm. She's going to tell them that it was two separate people, like, oh yeah, someone else is helping Dirk out. But it was actually, she's like running back and forth between each location. And then the bee must have got into like a central unit, and then as their personalities are transferring, it goes like the bee's on a wire or something, kind of like the cat in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation chewing on the wires. And instead of being electrocuted and turned into a fur splotch, it gets Gary's brain in there. And then the bee must have left, and Dirk being further away, it took his brain further to travel and had an uninterrupted path to Gary's brain. Except there's still some bee particles in the wiring. So Dirk is like, I can kind of pick up other bugs talking, but we're not going to mention that. 'Cause fuck you. I'm not giving your body back. And he's like, I can't believe you wanted to leave this life. Parents are great, got a good life. Like, your sister's okay, whatever. Like, Cat is the best fucking cat I've ever seen. Like, Klaus?
He talks up the cat,
shit.
yeah.
Klaus is like a fucking good dude, man. Like, he lent me $5 the other day. Like, good cat, man. Solid cat. And B. Gary's just like, what the fuck, man? I'm in a bee. Like, fuck the... Yeah, I was also thinking just now, it's just like, there's a lot of children that are in, like, terrible lives that would probably look at Gary's life and be like, yeah, go fuck yourself, buddy. At least your father doesn't beat you. All right?
Yeah, and we'd almost rather be bees.
So, still. Go take your fucking bee attitude and shove it. Fake Gary, at one point, is just like, I really hate to kill you, but I will fucking kill you, so you need to leave. Like, he's just like, I don't want to swatch you, but like, let's not. I will kill to keep this life. And which makes
also, how bad was Dirk's life? It makes you wonder, right? The whole time I was like, poor Dirk, because he's out in the yard just sniffing flowers. No one gives a fuck.
Oh man, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I think Dirk's got like some real home life issues or whatever. But
I agree.
B. Gary's pretty upset. He's flying around, and then he's like, I wonder how long a bee's life is. And then his bee brain comes up with, hey, they die in the fall. Peace. And like, he's just like, motherfucker, it's August. He's like, hey, Gary, it's not like month-based, you know, like, you might die sooner than that. He's like, he's really regretting ever wanting to be someone else. But then, suddenly, 3 bees grab him. Just grab him. And start dragging him away. And he's like, I'm not going back to the fucking hive. You can't take me back to the fucking hive. No! Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, what are these, the fucking bee police? And I'll tell you, it's never really explained what these bees are up to. Like, we suspect they're dragging it back to the hive. But the thing is, Gary was never an original member of the hive, as far as we know. So it's like, he's kind of a forward bee.
No.
Oh, because he was the bee that came in and from the windows, Mr. Andretti's bee.
That's a pre-existing bee.
But he's not behaving as well as the other bees. He's not being a good bee. So they they drag him away.
That you didn't grab a hold of behaving.
They're not beehiving like a good bee. He's not.
You overworked it.
Okay. All right, I'm still working on a few. I got a couple more. But they draw their stingers on him as if they're cops, which I thought was fun. And they grab him and they start flying away with him, and he's stuck. He can't move. And they drag him up past Gary's window, and he sees this as an opportunity. He sees Gary in there. He screams at Gary. He's like, "Gary, fuck you, Gary!" And Gary, who's fake Gary, is like, "Go away!" But he takes a chance. Gary takes a chance. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna break free. I'm gonna bust through that window, and I'm gonna get these bees to follow me." And he does. Bee sprints out of being all wrestled around and goes into his own bedroom window and flies at Gary, and fake Gary sits up. He's like, fuck, there's multiple bees now. He says, get out. And sensing that this is not enough bees to really get Gary's attention, fake Gary's attention, B. Gary decides, I'm going to go back to Andretti's hive. I'm going to round up more bees. I'm going to come back hot, and we're going to get something's going to happen. I mean, either somebody dies of bee stings or I get my body back. Or both. I'll settle for both. And so he does. He heads toward Mr. Andretti's garage, gets in through the hole, goes into the hive, and just stirring up other bees, dude. He's in there. He's talking shit about the queen. He's like, fuck the queen, dude. He's kicking them in the nuts, kicking them in their bee nuts. He says honey's gross to their face. He does, and now the bee, the roaring hum. They're mad. Oh, they didn't like Gary saying any of that stuff, especially the thing he said about the queen. That wasn't very nice at all. Now they're an angry swarm, and he's like, all right. And somehow he didn't get like grabbed in that whole thing, and he back out of the hive. Now he's got all the bees chasing him, and all the bees are chasing him all the way back to Gary's room, where fake Gary sits all cocky, and busts in through the room, through the window. Immediately, the bees swarm. They cover fake Gary head to toe, cover all of fake Gary's body, which is technically Gary's body, which is kind of weird. You'd ruin your body, but he's got to do something. And fake Gary is like, help, God, please, help. He says, I dropped down onto the tip of Gary's nose. Have you had enough, I demanded. Are you ready to give me back my body? Never, he cried. I don't care what you do to me. You'll never get your body back. It's mine, and I'm keeping it forever. Whoa, I could not believe my ears. I mean, he was covered in bees, and he still wouldn't listen to reason. I didn't know what to do. The other bees were starting to lose interest. Some of them drifted to the plate of honey. Most of them floated back out the open window. There was a plate of honey nearby. Old fake Gary was chowing down on some crackers and honey. You can't get away with this, Dirk, I screamed. With a furious wail, I whirled around. Then I stabbed my razor-sharp stinger deep into the side of Gary's nose. Ow! He let out a high-pitched shriek and grabbed at his nose. Then he staggered backwards and fell over onto the bed. Yay! I cried out in celebration. For one instant, I felt triumphant. A tiny bee had defeated a huge enemy. I was victorious. I had won a fight against a giant, referring to his own body, by the way. But my celebration didn't last very long. I suddenly realized what I had done. And I remembered what happens to a honeybee after it stings someone, and Dylan will let us know shortly after I finish this chapter. I'm going to die, I murmured weakly. I stung someone, and now I'm going to die. Bum, bum, bum.
He's getting weaker by the second. Because what happens when a honeybee stabs someone is their stinger is, as mentioned, barbed. And remains in the skin of the person that they're stinging into. I believe that is, so more and more poison gets injected in there. But what happens is the bee doesn't just leave their stinger, but a lot of extra bits too. They basically disembowel themselves after they sting someone. So Gary ripped out his own guts. I feel like he would have noticed is all. So he's not feeling too good, but he wants to stay...
Do you think the reason this happens is because he stings himself? Do you think there's something with that?
I think it's just because...
Like a lot of his DNA melds back into his own body?
I have so many questions.
I was trying to do one of your things. I was like, I want to fill a plot hole.
I'm thinking like, what? But like, there must just be some sort of snapback effect. Because think about it this way, like maybe Miss Carmen needs to like, she made a way so she doesn't have to like go back to them to switch them out. It just happens automatically, maybe. Because wait, why is Dirk stuck in there? Like, what's happening? I don't understand how this works. Well, it did happen over open air. We've determined that. So yeah. I guess anything's possible in this crazy mixed up world where Ms. Carmen just files for a business license to transfer children into other children endlessly.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyway.
So he wants to stay strong enough to tell his family goodbye because he is dying. He is actually dying. This is a child dying in a book. It's getting harder to breathe. I mean, most of his guts are strewn across Gary's own nose. He's feeling tired and weak and floating outside. Crashes into the grass one final time as the world grows darker around him, fainting from view, basically.
Oh, God.
But then he comes to and he's like, I've only got 2 arms and 2 legs and no wings. I'm human. He gives himself a big old hug because he's like, what happened? How did this happen? I'm a person again. I'm Gary. No longer Gary the Bee or fake Gary or Gary the Dirk. I'm Gary. He runs inside. He sees Chris. He gives her a big hug, kisses her on the face. She's like, get your cooties off of me. He sees mom and dad. He's like, oh my God, you guys. And they were like, you can't go into your room. It's like fucking filled with bees. And he's like,
I love that part too.
He's like, mom and dad, I missed you so much. I love you. And they're like, okay. Are you okay, buddy? He's like, you haven't gone anywhere. You okay? And he's, no, I think we should spend more time together. Oh my God, I love you guys. You're my best parents. And they're like, can you go get Mr. A and get the bees out of your room? Cause like, the fuck, man, come on. He's like, you know what, guys? Fuck Mr. A. And just opens the room, and they're like, whoa! And he's like, you can't open. He's like, I'm not scared of bees anymore, motherfuckers. You know why? I've been what I'm scared of. And they're like, the fuck is wrong? You're going to go to that therapist because you need to see someone. Like, we know a guy, he helps kids deal with sublimating their fears about moving and shit. But hey, Gary's just like, get out, come on, shoot, guys. He's like, I'm almost happy to see them again. This is great. These are my friends. Hey, B-bro. Hey, David, how you doing? Hey, Carl. Love what you've been doing with the place, Carl. Like, he takes the crackers covered in honey, tosses them out the window, chews out the last of the bees. He's just like, it's like, are you? I mean, I don't even care how you're answering this question, if you're fine or not, because you're still going to see a therapist, because this is fucking weird. And Gary's just like, I'm fine. I'm just fine. Bum, bum, bum!
Yeah. Now we fast forward. We're here on the last chapter, folks. We made it. He's reflecting. It's been about a month since this whole thing went down. And, this short life he had as a bee really changed Gary, Things are turning around for him. He's talking to girls now. He's less nervous overall around folks. He really appreciates his family a lot more. His own life. He's no longer scared of Barry, Marv, or Carl. In fact, they're a little afraid of him. And he's even somehow better at sports, especially skateboarding. Likes to go down to the playground, show off in front of the ladies. He still gives lessons to Judy and Caitlin. They don't make fun of him anymore for smashing his dumb fucking face off a lamp post, showing off. They think he's a rather cool guy nowadays. And as the book wraps up, it says, the other day, I actually ran into Dirk Davis at the playground. At first, I didn't want to talk to him, but then he turned out to be pretty nice. He apologized to me. I'm sorry I tried to steal your body, he said, but things didn't turn out so well for me either. That bee flunked all my math tests in summer school.
And he's dead now.
We both had a good laugh about that. And now Dirk and I are friends. So all in all, my life is back to normal. I feel terrific, totally normal. In fact, I feel much better than normal. It's so great to sit here in the backyard reading and relaxing, smelling the fresh fall air, enjoying the flowers. Those hollyhocks are really awesome. Excuse me a moment while I get up and take a closer look. That blossom down near the ground is so perfect. I think I'll get down on my knees and take a quick taste. Do you know how to suck the pollen out? I figured out the best way. It's not as hard as it looks. You just pucker your lips and stick your tongue way out like this, see? Then you dip your face down into the blossom and suck up all the pollen you want. Try. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's easy. Really. And that's how the book ends. Sort of a boy climaxing as he sniffs a flower. But, that's it. That wraps it up. We do not know exactly why he's afraid of bees, because he ends the book not being afraid of bees. Weird title. Weird book.
Also, I need to point this out. Bees don't eat pollen. They eat nectar.
Thank you.
I feel like someone was screaming that at the whole podcast.
I'm sure they were screaming about a lot of things that we said and did.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What did you think of this one? Because
buddy,
this is one of the ones where going over it, I think, has changed my opinion. Maybe not changed my opinion, but worsened my opinion.
Yeah, it's low down there for me. Even the good parts were just silly. There's too many plot holes. There's too many There's not enough. I guess situationally it's stressful, but it didn't have that flavor of spook that I like. Like One Day at Horrorland is my vibe. Being, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. This whole book was just like Rick Moranis gone wild. It was situational comedy disguised as something scary, and which is not bad, but it's not like on par with some of my favorites. So, in all, my rating scheme would be I'm gonna have to give it one lousy beekeeping neighbor out of a potential 7.
I'm gonna give it one sad dead bee on a windowsill.
Out of 1 billion dead bees.
I was okay. This might be my first one star because it does have a weird hold on me. I'm not entirely sure why. Like if it was just like the cover's fucking upsetting.
It's not great, but it is memorable. Yeah. There's something about it, like it sticks out. It could be the orange, it could be the bright colors, it could be anything. It's definitely
one that I think because I didn't like it that much as a kid, always ended up being where I could find it. The ones I really liked, like Girl with a Haunted Mask, I'm pretty sure I read the cover off of that book. Girl with a Haunted Mask, Jesus Christ. I'm back there again. I'm back to my old ways. Yeah. Reminiscing about my childhood and not the book I read a couple months ago. But this one, I was probably like always on the bookshelf, and so it's just like, oh fuck, I need a bumper to read because it's I got a serial. This is a perfect length book as a kid to read while you're eating a bowl of cereal or two or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like it's the perfect length for that.
Heck yeah.
Just pointing that.
It takes me like 2 hours to read these books, so it's like a long sandwich.
You take notes too.
That's true.
It's actually like a 4-course dinner for you. Just imagine you like in the full dinner jacket and everything with your Goosebumps book, and just like no, bring back the 5th entree. I'm going to try that now. It's just it's definitely one of those ones like, oh boy. Pretty sure as a kid I was like, and as an adult I'm like, oh boy. Like Ms. Carmen, the whole business, how it works, like it's so vague. It reminds me almost of like the Watch short story in Stein Tinglers, where like he describes a smartwatch as if it's like a filled with gears and cogs and things, and she's just like, do you know what a smartwatch is? Because he's just like, I picked it up and shook it and it tinkled, and it's just like that. What are you talking about? Like it. And I see some of the trivia up ahead. I think we should get to the trivia because I think that might actually explain a couple things.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. So apparently, and this is according to the Goosebumps wiki site, which I take with a full spoon of gospel. I dare not doubt anyone who puts together a wiki.
Oh, yeah. Wikis are known for being error-free.
But they do include a source here. So Parachute Press once admitted that after the 16th book in the series, notice this one is number 17, Stein sometimes had freelancers adapt his story outlines into draft manuscripts, with Stein revising or rewriting the product. Since the 17th book was when Stein reportedly started receiving assistance, that might imply that this book was partially ghostwritten. And I believe it. And as soon as I read that piece of trivia, I was like, okay, it made me feel better about not liking this book as much. Because I was like, well, this isn't a full jovial Bob. This had other hands in there. He went through. He's pressed for time. He's like, I know we got to get the book out. You
can't use that as an excuse for every book thereafter, though, because we just have to accept these as
some of them are going to be duds. But I think this one, that evidence, like they said, the first 16 were written by him, and then after that, ghostwriters. 17 has to have. Oh yeah, this has to be. This is the one that we know was not completely. R.L. Stein's work, I would think so, and I think it shows, dude. There's too much in here where it doesn't feel like him,
and part of it too is the whole like it's like you were saying at the beginning of the podcast, the page count limit, where like how much room do they have to explain how this bizarre technology works or whatever, and
they had 3 pages. They could have done a lot with 3 pages.
That's true. They could have done.
Ended at 117. Usually they go to 120. And who knows? Maybe he saw a bunch of shit and cut it out and was like, "No, we're not. We're not using that. This is not my style."
He's out of here. That's his face on the front of the book. He's just like, you're a fucking bee now.
R.L. Stine actually killed him. That guy's like an actual ghost writer now. He's
Jesus.
Not real.
It's not even a bee pun. It's just...
Yeah, just fun. Yeah, just this little fun pun. Also, apparently, despite the misleading title, I think I already mentioned this, the book doesn't actually tell us why Gary is afraid of bees. Instead, the book starts with him already afraid of them. The book also ends with Gary no longer being afraid of bees. I don't feel like that's a mistake R.L. Stine makes often. He's usually very clear about how the titles and endings go. And then technically, Gary, and you didn't bring this up, you pedantic fuck, Gary becomes a female bee because he has a stinger. Apparently that's a trait for female bees.
So, if you'd like to email us and tell us about what we did or did not get right about bee facts, you can email us at wegotgoosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is wegotgoosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. It would take a bee 13 minutes to walk down our email address. That's how long it is.
Yes, and please don't let that discourage you from typing an email. Please email us. It's the only way we communicate with fans so far with the one. Thank you, Melanie. Find the show on Twitter at SayCheeseAndPod. If you like Twitter. If you don't like Twitter, use the email. If you don't like email, use Twitter. It's your only two options. But you can also support the show and our network as a whole. You can head on over to Patreon. And that's going to be patreon.com/polykill. And if you're untapped into the network and you're like, what's a polykill? Sounds deadly. It's not. It's just another dumb podcast. But you can find that at that and more.
Well,
if you go to polymedianetwork.com.
It is a whole network. It's not just Polykill.
Polykill is this dumb show, Polymedia Network. Yeah. That's where you'll find the whole host of shows. Yeah. We got other ones. We got movies. We got other funny gaming-related stuff, drinking-related thing. We got stuff. Now, Dylan, I am very excited for this next book. This will be our first sequel, and I can't wait. I'm excited to see where this is going to go. Let us know. What are we in for with book number 18, episode 18? What's coming?
Evan Ross can't stop thinking about Monster Blood and what happened last summer. It was so horrible, so terrifying. Too bad Evan's science teacher doesn't believe him. Now he's stuck cleaning out the hamster's cage as punishment for making up stories. Then Evan's friend Andy comes to town, and things go from bad to worse. Because Andy's got a present for Evan. It's green, it's slimy, and it's starting to grow.